Feeling weird today, so you're all gonna get to experience that.
Awesome. I feel weird every day, so welcome to
Yeah,
it.
I had 2 whole beers, and most of the time I can drink probably 10 times more than that on a daily basis and be okay. But for some reason, I'm just feeling zooted. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Damn. Did you eat?
Feeling weird, so you're all gonna get to experience that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ate a lot, and for some reason, I cannot fix my fucking microphone. It's so loud.
Whoa.
Drink
Hello?
probably 10
Hello.
times more than that on a daily
Hey, it's
basis and be okay.
Boblax.
But for some reason, I'm just
Hi.
feeling.
Are we live now?
We
Or-
are live. We're just waiting for people to pour in.
Okay. Hello,
Yeah.
everyone. Hello, chat.
Fucking pores.
How are you doing, Boblax?
I'm doing good. How have you been?
I've been great.
Hello.
It's so great to hear your voice again, Boblax.
For some reason, I'm just.
Hi. Are we live now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are live. We're just waiting for people to pour in. Evan, thank you for the
Okay.
gifted game.
Hello,
Yeah. I don't even
Hello,
know what
chat.
this game is. It must have been
Fucking
on my
pores.
wish list. But wow, thank you, Evan. That really made my day.
Did you see that The Forest got a sequel?
I did not. Oh, we should play that.
Yes, we need to.
Yeah. We're just waiting for Dame to get here, and we're waiting for Pisco to get in here. And then we'll be ready to go.
Nice.
Oh, there will be 2 lawyers in this call. That'll be interesting. Have you talked with Pisco before, Lactoid?
I smoked him in a one-on-one debate. I'm just saying.
Uh-oh.
You can ask him. It's pretty brutal
Uh-oh.
and one-sided.
Well, thank you, Evan. I appreciate you. Oh, Dame is in the lobby. Oh, I'm so excited. Guys, I'm such a huge fan of Dame Pesos. He's so funny. Okay, I'm gonna pull him in now. Hello? Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi,
No.
hi.
Can you hear me?
I'm playing back through you.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
And you sound like a robot.
God damn it.
Kind of.
I'll figure it out. Sorry.
No problem. It's not awkward at all, guys. Not awkward at all.
Nope. Never.
Oh. Pisco's
Hello?
in.
Am I
Hello?
okay now?
You sound so
Oh, I
much
sound
better
like-
now.
Oh. Fuck.
What?
Fuck everything. Ugh.
Why? What happened?
I don't know. I don't know anything. This shit never works. Like never
Well,
works.
It works now. It works now. So you're good. You're good now. Welcome everybody, one and everyone, to Supernova, the panel show where everything goes wrong. Yes, we are the panel show where that one guy got swatted. Yes, we are the panel show where somebody rage quit. Actually, several times people have rage quit. We are that panel show, so welcome. The topics are brought on purpose, so we can go off on tangents if we want to. I encourage, a little bit of blood sports here. Just try to keep it within TOS. And I do this thing myself called like rage moderation, where I scream at people. So please don't take it personally. I just do it because the audience, for some reason, thinks it's funny when I yell at people. So that's just kind of how it is. We'll be having a surprise guest at 7:30. It's 7 o'clock right now. I'm super excited for the surprise guest. But yeah, I guess we can get right into it. Do you guys want to go around and introduce yourselves?
Sure, I guess I'll start. I'm
Why is this
Boblax.
so fucking awkward,
I make
guys?
I don't know. I expected like the top left to introduce.
Yeah, I was writing on top left too.
Yeah.
I was typing, guys. I can go if you want me to go.
Yeah, why don't you go?
Sure, I'll go. I'm Lactoid. and you can find me at Lagtoy TV. I'm best known for destroying Pisco in a one-on-one debate a couple months back. He can verify that, so I just wanted to point that out.
Okay.
I don't
I
even
would-
know who that is. But
Me
good,
neither.
good job. Good job.
I don't know where I am.
I'm sure you crushed him.
It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah.
Did he cry?
What did you debate about? Was it like a funny topic or
Some legal bullshit. I don't remember. It was something.
Something that happened this summer.
I'm Liberal Cluck. I'm not really known at all, although I did have Rob Nora on the ropes one time. He's gonna deny it, but it definitely is true. I mostly here because I like debating. You can find me on Twitter and all that good stuff. I'll probably start Rumble soon, to be honest.
Nice.
Hi everyone, happy to be here. I'm Pisco. I'm a law adjacent lawyer guy who does lawyer streams and stuff occasionally. And I did debate Lactoid on Dobbs, and I don't think it was quite so one-sided as he suggested. But happy to be here and looking forward to the conversation.
Hell yeah. Boblex?
Oops. Yo, I'm Boblax. I make drama content, and I laugh at people, and it's fun. So yeah, I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitter, and yeah, thanks for having me on.
Awesome. Dame.
Now it's my turn. My name is Dame Pesos. One time I won a debate. I'm also
times.
brown. Remember that. You have to like me or else you're all racist.
True.
I love Dame Pesos.
Same.
Yes.
I'm so
I
excited.
also love myself. I won a debate one time. Do you know that?
I've seen you win a debate several times.
Yeah, didn't you own what's his name? Fucking shit, it's on the tip of my, like Mundane Matt? That guy?
Yes. I kill him in a
You
debate
also
with my
own
great
some-
Owned him.
intellect.
You also own some other guy. I forgot his name though. You
It's
guys were
better
arguing about the
forgotten.
Christmas album. Some Christmas album you guys were arguing about, and you owned the guy.
Yes, I also won that debate. I'm the
Yeah.
master debater. I'm brown. I have the high IQ. I win debates. Gonna debate, baby. Let's go. How about the
Awesome.
arguments?
Yeah. All right, Stabby, your turn.
Hi guys. I'm here because I love Stardust. I like this topic. I think it's a fun topic that we can't do much about, but I'll get to that part. And you probably know me for yelling at you in a Discord server somewhere because that's like one of my favorite things to do. So, um, I'll just like yell at you, and while you have a meltdown, I'll just sit here and sew and giggle at you. So that's why I'm here. But hi, I don't stream. I like to kind of just have some fun with friends and like talk about political debates. So
She's very good at triggering people. That's awesome.
true,
Yeah.
very true.
Okay, all right, we'll get right into the first topic. As you guys know, I don't really like choose an order for people to do their intros. If you want to do your intro, just call it out and do it, okay? Topic number 1, the internet. Is it too edgy or not edgy enough? Is there any utility in safe spaces online?
Is the internet too edgy?
No.
I guess in certain I don't know. I don't want to like control people's speech or what they can or can't say. I guess like for some people, some parts of the internet are too edgy, but if it's too edgy for you, then go to another part of the internet where it's not as edgy. You know, there's so many different types of groups on the internet that are either like safe spaces, as you said, or super edgy, toxic pit holes. And the beauty of the internet is that you can choose whichever one you want to hang out in, and you can ignore whatever you don't want to see. So.
I think the internet's actually pretty fucking edgy. I think it's fine to have some like limited community spaces where you organize with people who are of like mind, but I think you should only spend probably 5% of your time in these spaces because otherwise you risk kind of sitting into an echo chamber and becoming an idiot. I think it's important to find people who you disagree with in order to become smarter, and I think getting smarter is the ontological imperative. So if you're not getting smarter, you're getting stupider.
I personally think that it's not edgy or not edgy enough. I think it's a bunch of people who, like, when people are talking about edgy or somebody's trying to be edgy online, it's usually some 2010 freaking sexist or racist meme. It's so overplayed. It's so boring. Everybody just kind of makes fun of them. We're over it. Nobody cares. I don't think it's too edgy or not edgy enough. I think that wherever you find people, you're going to get their stupidity, as well as their brilliance, all at the same time, because that's what we've done throughout history. When it comes to when it comes to like safe spaces, there is one safe space I absolutely 100% believe in when it comes to internet spaces, and that is children and access to internet. I think they should have access to internet. I just think that there needs to be some more safeguards. I'm actually very impressed with how vicious Discord has become towards sites that have brought harm to children. So I would say that they're curating something of a safe space to an extent. So yeah, that's my take on
Oh
it.
my god. We have the burrito himself.
Oh,
Ooh,
did it work?
hello, Mr. Burrito.
It
Yes!
worked.
Fucking work!
Yay!
Have a
Now I'm
camera. Is it
hungry, god
moving?
damn it.
I'm sorry, what?
It's supposed to be moving. Is it
Oh, I
moving?
don't
Oh,
see
it
it
is moving.
moving.
No, behind.
It's not moving on our end.
Is it moving now?
Oh, it changed.
Now it looks like news. It's like a person dancing. Anyways, I think that there are definitely spaces on the internet where there's a lot of edge, and I think that's okay. But if we're gonna keep the conversation to like mainstream internet, Twitter, Facebook, I'm okay with them being like the arbiters of what I would consider polite society. A space for where everyone can be comfortable, and if you are going overboard making people uncomfortable, it's okay to get rid of those types of people because you are incompatible with polite society.
Why don't you just block them on an individual basis? Why does it have to be the platform to remove them?
Well, I mean, we could discuss that if everyone's done with their intros.
Yeah,
Yes,
who anybody
let's
left?
go.
Is Pisco
Oh, I
here?
have
Yeah,
an intro. I'm left.
hap-
I'm
happy
brown.
to.
I might win debate because I'm brown. It's super true. By the way, you can't even swear on the internet anymore. And then there's people like that guy that think private companies should remove people because they make him uncomfortable and
Wait,
annoying.
do private companies have freedom to speak as well? In your mind?
Oh, you annoyed me. Remove him. I'm annoyed.
Okay, Pisco's intro. Let's give Pisco a minute
Yeah,
for
I
an
think
for
that.
an
So I mean, it's a question of taste. I actually agree with a lot of the sentiments that were essentially, some it's all contextual where you're going to go and your taste with respect to edginess. But I think the much more interesting question is what are we going to do about it? And to liberal Cluck's position, I think that it's absolutely the case that these organizations and these platforms also have free speech rights that should be vindicated. And I wouldn't agree with the nationalization or socialization of these organizations to government control.
All right, guys. We'll just open it up. I expect
So
you
I
to
think
bring. Yeah. Go right
I
ahead.
yeah, I think it's like really stupid where I think this is a cope where people think that their opinions
Yeah.
have to be there have to be broadcast, like you have equal rights to somebody else's thing where you can have that platform. I think that the biggest lesson everybody should have learned is how ridiculous it was that we actually had the conservative positions saying that we needed state controlled media in which like any type of terms of service would have First Amendment implications in the long run. And they all just like dove headfirst into this because they're like, I have a right to post whatever I want. It's to me, it's a lot like the public library. You have the right to be in the library, you have the right to talk in the library, but there is a shh, be quiet, people are reading sign right there. And if you start yelling, we can have security drag your dumb ass off of the campus, and you just don't get to go in the public library if you keep making a nuisance of yourself.
Well,
It's
Fabi, I mean,
it's about your
I want to
behaviors.
amend. I want to amend that just a little bit. I mean, I would agree that there's even public spaces are amenable to reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions, such as a public library. But I wouldn't even go that far. I wouldn't even say that it is like a public library. I think it's like a private library. I think it's like a private hotel. And until that there's some, is that funny? You disagree?
Yeah. What are you
Yeah,
calling
wait,
a
everyone,
private
if you
library?
tweet
Fucking
online, everyone
Twitter?
can link to it. Potentially anyone can see it. There's
So?
no, it's not like I would
People can record your
agree. I would
conduct at a
agree with
hotel.
your I would agree with your point if you're talking about like private DMs. between one-on-one on people. But like Twitter's equivalent of the hotel lobby, and then DMs are equivalent of the private hotel room. If we're going with that analogy.
So
Do you think that Twitter, Facebook, these organizations, do you think that they are First Amendment bound? Do you think that they're subject to scrutiny under the individual protections of the First and 14th Amendments?
I'm not familiar with the exact details of the First and 14th Amendment because I'm Canadian and I don't care about American
Free speech.
laws.
Yeah.
Well,
You mean free speech,
government-
right?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
from
there's
Latin
prohibitions
America,
on
by the way.
There's prohibitions on government regulations on speech and activities affecting and interacting with speech.
So
what I see going on, what I see going on is like there's this if there's any version of toss enforcement, and I keep asking people when they go down the free speech route with all of this social media stuff, I keep asking them, okay, fine. So what terms of service should we have? Maybe we have a problem with the terms of service because these companies have the right to enforce these terms of service. And what I'm seeing is the COPE is all about a must listen to me law. There is no iteration of a must listen law anywhere. Like, if you guys want to shut me up, you can mute me. You can slam the door in my face if I'm asking you if you have heard about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. It doesn't matter. You guys don't have to listen to me. But the opposite COPE right now is not only am I owed this, but I'm owed reach. I'm owed people listening. And they're just warping the entire concept of free speech in any way, shape, or form, because they didn't like that they got one of their tweets deleted. Like, grow up. I don't care. I got banned from Twitter, and you don't see me like crying about it. I called somebody a dirty plague rat. Filthy dirty plague rat.
Oh
I
my
deserve to
God.
get banned. Whatever.
that's pretty bad.
It's fine.
How dare you?
At the end of the day, basically we have all
That's what
these
Twitter said.
At the end of the day, basically we have all these companies that have their interests, and some companies have interest in being like the arbiter of free speech platforms. They usually end up cesspools, and some companies have an interest to get as many people on their platform as possible so they can make money. And in that interest, usually companies will try to be, like I said earlier, a place of polite society, so that as many people can be comfortable there as possible. They're not worried about free speech so much. They're worried about getting people on the platform, and if that means that you can't be on there saying racial slurs or transphobic things, and so be it. They're going to kick you for it, and they have every right to, and they should kick you for it, because
I
I think
mean,
that it's a good thing that we have
Yeah.
spaces
Is
that
there
are
a free speech
Yeah.
platform? Is there a
Boo.
free
Eh,
speech
okay,
platform though? What is it?
If I could, I would like to introduce an argument here. Okay, somebody proposed this to me just the other day, that Kiwi Farms, in a way, is a safe space of its own, because you have the safety on Kiwi Farms to say whatever you want without repercussion, essentially.
True.
What do you guys think about that?
it's
Oh
a
no, they
safe
ban you
space,
from
yeah.
Kiwi Farms. If you don't post things with like links with an archive to archive.is, they ban you. They delete stuff. If you are not saying the N word, they
Yeah,
ban
if you
you.
don't say the N word
Wait,
every 5
wait,
posts,
really?
you get banned on Kiwi
Wait a second.
Farms
Wait a second.
for
That further
racism
Stardust
requirement.
points. That further Stardust points, because the whole notion is that a safe space would have rules of conduct that are rather strict, and so if it's the
Exactly,
case
it is a
that they're
safe
banned,
space.
okay, so then you're agreeing with Stardust and not saying no. Then
Yes, I did.
Ultimately, all these places are just trying to curate what they want, the kind of audience they want, and I although I think it's problematic in a lot of ways, I do agree with Pisco that there is First Amendment protections here. That when you're creating a space, you also get to have some say over who gets to be in it. That being said, I'm curious if you guys, and I guess mostly to Pisco, but I guess the rest of you, if you've ever heard of the Pruneyard case, right, where Justice Thurgood Marshall made an interesting argument of when he was defending. One second. When he was defending people being able to speak out at a private shopping mall, the argument was, well, look, under California's then pretty liberal interpretation of the First Amendment and their freedom of speech protections, if we don't have this, eventually, as the world becomes more and more privatized, there won't be any places where you can really speak, right? That this idea of, well, private organizations, especially if they kind of form this monopoly and sort of, with government help in lockstep start banning entire swaths of speech, if everywhere is covered by that, well, then in effect, there is no First Amendment, right? In effect, when there's this kind of corporate state, hegemony that controls everywhere that you can talk, where the fuck are you going to challenge the government? Where are you going to challenge Facebook if Facebook, if Meta owns everything? Or at least if the owners of Meta and all the other social media all, fly together to Epstein's Island and do all that terrible shit that they do, whatever the fuck.
Well, even if you accept that we're starting to look like that kind of the complete and total entanglement of private, corporate, and public interest, such that there's little differentiation, and all the spaces are essentially used up, or I don't know, there's no public spaces anymore. I don't believe we're there yet, but are we going to get rid of public ownership of roads, public ownership of streets? Is that not going to be a thing anymore? I'm not so sure about that. Those are the time immemorial, public parks. Are those going the way of the dodo? Those are the places that we've held for time immemorial, are the places where speech happened. And also you have, I'm sure, as you're seeing now, right, people like Elon Musk and others who at least purport to have a some kind of hope and allegiance to those principles. And so I'm not so sure that if there's a market for it, right? Why wouldn't there be private spaces that hold themselves out to those standards?
Right. There is a bit of pushback, but Pisco, if it got bad enough, at some point would you say, sorry, look,
That's a Congress problem.
Yeah, you benefit from 230.
Problem. I mean, there's a lot of things that bad Congress people, bad legislatures, and negligent legislatures, if they allow to happen, a lot of bad shit could occur in America. And so, I'm not so sure that you change First Amendment law to deal with the problems of corporate monopolies, oligopolies, all that shit. I'd rather change the power structures there than fuck with it via First Amendment jurisprudence and making it fit where it's not supposed to.
Do you find any concern there that, sure, we can break up the trusts and have like 8 different companies that all run social media, but I think what we're seeing now is people kind of directly put themselves in echo chambers, right? The Trump people go to Truth Social, the old people go to Facebook. There's like different groups of people that kind of just go where they belong, and then they don't get to hear any argument that they don't want to hear, right?
It's
I mean, is there a
First
concern?
Amendment. I mean, that's a problem after. I mean,
Right back.
we
Whoa, we're right back to must listen. No, I don't like that. That's not cool. I mean, yeah, you should hear things that you don't like. That's fine. But listen, you're right back to like must listen. There's nothing you can do to enforce people to be in spaces they don't want to be in. I'm sorry, but I'm not okay with people thinking I'm an atheist, but I'm not okay with people thinking that equal time and being forced to hear the other side means that for every hour of Christian sermonizing in a church, I'm supposed to get like an hour of a science lecture. Like, that's bullshit. Like, why would we do that? That's dumb.
Not
and
only
that's true. I
that,
mean,
like within the history of this country, we've never really had a situation to where everyone can have a voice and put that voice in front of people. Like, where did we go in the '90s to make our opinions on vaccines or our opinions on or Epstein Island known? It
The
just didn't
radio.
exist. And but we had the
there were
radio. We still had the radio.
how many TV stations were there? How many everyone was listening to their church, everyone was listening to, or in the era of talk radio, how many people were being had Rush Limbaugh talking points just spewing out of their mouth because that's what's available. There are many situations in which particularly profound speakers, or particularly I don't know, people who capture the interest, or particular institutions have dominated what people hear.
That happened, but
free speech allows for.
Right. But it's getting worse though.
Problem with free speech.
But isn't it getting worse though? Like from what I see, the polarization. Yeah, the polarization. People disagreeing with each other, right? Like it's shifted kind of a lot lately, right?
Wait, do you guys are you guys wanting people banned on Twitter because they're being unpolite, or because they're giving a political view that you don't agree with? Because liberal club over here was talking about politeness and rudeness and being hateful on Twitter, and now we're talking about, should these people on Twitter be talking about this extreme thing and giving opinions on vaccines or whatever? Like, it's this.
I feel like I feel like you're spooling out. I think you are spooling out 100% from what's being said here. We are saying that a platform or a company or a space should have the right to enforce rules of either propriety, rules of engagement, so to speak. Like kids do this every time they do like one of those debate
websites
tournaments.
Should have TOS, right?
Right, exactly. So
I agree.
what do we do? So what do we do about somebody who is telling someone the KOIS meme? What do we when that's obviously
is that against TOS?
What
If
exactly?
it is, then ban
What
them. If not,
So
then
hold on. Hold
block 'em.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. Nothing bad is happening. Everyone take a deep breath.
Wait,
All
what?
right,
I
we're good.
just want a chance to speak because you guys
Let's
kind of
stay
go on this
calm.
huge political. I am calm.
Now,
What?
okay, all right. Now, if you
Oh.
say
I
shit,
feel so gaslit.
like-
What the fuck?
Be calm.
Just
Now,
good.
if
Okay.
we say shit, hold on. If we
Gotta be
say shit
zen.
like,
We gotta relax.
what are they allowed to do? Like, what are they allowed to be booted for? And somebody saying things about Muslims, or like that Muslim ban thing that failed, or they're like doing something that is against the TOS of Twitter. Yes, of course we're supposed to support them getting rid of them. And yeah, racism is going to get hit by Twitter TOS all the time. As well it should. It's their fucking decision. If you want racists are us, make the social media app. I mean, go for it. I
Oh
didn't
wait,
mind when I
I
was
have
banned
an
from Parler.
argument against
It's
that.
called
You wanna
4chan.
hear my
Go.
argument?
I
ahead, Dom.
agree. I
Yes.
feel like
My argument is Etika, right? Remember that YouTuber that got banned from Twitter and YouTube
Yeah.
for saying the
Against
N
the
word?
TOS of
And he was
Twitter.
black,
Of
and then he
course we're
killed
supposed to
himself.
support them getting rid of them. And yeah,
Yeah.
Does
get
anyone?
hit by. Are you
I
making a
remember.
causation
Is that
argument?
an-
As well
is
it
that an
should. It's
argument?
their fucking
What's the
decision.
argument there?
If you want racist,
Yeah, if you start banning people for being impolite, you're gonna ban a bunch of
I
black
didn't mind
people
when I was
saying
banned
the
from
N
Parler.
word.
It's called
They're yeah,
4chan.
that's
It's
they're
also a
gonna
bunch
get it wrong.
of.
No, listen. I don't think that
So
we
no
go
banning
back on
criteria.
what our
Is your
principles.
recommendation that we shouldn't ban people ever? Because it might lead to
Ever.
someone's.
I mean, for what? I mean, you're talking about
so
YouTube, for
you
example.
can't make
YouTube
a-
have a no.
No,
YouTube
listen.
has a huge history of not banning pedophiles from trying to rape children on comment sections,
Right,
and they
so
never
you
did
can't
anything
short-circuit the
until there
argument.
was a huge boycott. I think a lot of
can't
you people don't even
short-circuit
know.
the argument on the merits. You can't short-circuit the argument of what should be and what
Well,
should
well-
not be banned by saying, well, someone killed himself.
I mean, I'm not
according to
talking
one-
about what should be. I'm talking
Let me
about
ask
what
you a
Yeah,
question.
would be.
Let me ask you.
you just
let's
said
let's
something.
let's
wait,
let-
I
he
think
just-
a lot of people
Dame
just
finish
like.
what he's saying, and then we
I
can-
think
go
a lot
ahead,
of
finish
people
what you're saying.
just like it. You like that certain people, you don't like a band. Etika killed himself. Don't think about it.
No.
They allow all the pedophiles there trying to go to the comment sections and DMs of children on Twitter and YouTube, whatever.
Yeah,
It doesn't
not
really
really.
matter.
This is not an argument. You're just pointing
No.
to things that happened in time and space.
I mean, it's a
Right.
description. I'm
You're
describing
talking
the
about
social
discrete
media
things
that you are
occur,
talking
right? So
about.
it can be the case that YouTube is prioritizing things in a way that you disagree with. It can be the case that they're prioritizing things correctly, or that they're hypocritical, or that someone died as a result of a banning policy. But at the end of the day, you can't short circuit the argument and say, well, someone died because of banning policy. Therefore, what are we to conclude of that?
So here's a
It's a
question
guy
for
with
you.
a mask.
What's up, Corantos?
Dame Pesos.
I have Antifa.
Number one.
Pesos literally did.
You motherfuckers could put insomniacs to sleep. Stabby, shut the fuck up. Listen, nobody gives a fuck about your freedom of speech. Nobody cares. It's a fucking platform. It's not government run, okay? Your fucking constitution does not apply here. Second of all, safe spaces. Nobody needs a safe space. Your safe space should be your fucking bedroom and your toilet, which I just spent 30 minutes in taking a fat fucking shit that I had to cut short because I had to come on here. Number three.
Is my kitchen a safe space?
Yeah, for you it is. Stick to it. And listen to the rest of you fucking idiots.
Is he wearing glasses?
If you're fucking, yes, I am. 2 glasses, in fact. If you're fucking crying, advise them this. Advise them to get the fuck off the internet. Lactoid, how are you?
Okay, Karan,
How you doing?
Exactly.
Bravo.
I agree. Just ban them or leave. Like, there's tools in
Okay.
place with these systems where you can individually ban people. So if you don't want to see something, like, you're free not to. And perfectly fine.
And Dom Pesos.
Well,
And Dom Pesos, I want to say that identity of the person who is being banned unfairly, of course, I will concede immediately that Twitter and YouTube and everyone's going to fuck it up. Everyone does, okay? But I'm like, just because the identity of a person might be somebody that we've historically had to help with our policies does not mean our principles just disappear. Like, if I say something truly horrific to a person, being a woman doesn't change whether or not the principle remains, and the principle should remain. If I say something horrible that
Oh
violates
no, it
TOS,
totally
I
changed
should be
it.
banned.
Like if
No,
you
it
ban a
doesn't.
black
No,
guy
no.
for saying
Okay,
the
no,
N word.
Dame Pesos. If I
But it's
tell
not
somebody,
no. It's not the
let me
identity.
finish my
It's the
hypothetical.
identity
Let
of
me
that
finish my
guy. that was
Let me finish my
black.
hypothetical. Pesos, let me
Well,
finish my
Why?
hypothetical.
calm down, dude.
Let's say
Calm down.
let's say between the two of us, both of us tell somebody KYS.
Gotta be
Okay, and we use
relaxed.
the KYS beam. I am relaxed. If we both use the KYS beam, how is it different if you use it and different because I used it because of the differences between us? It's the same exact problem. Yes.
No, I'm talking about
No.
a black guy
What
saying
the
the
fuck?
N-word
Yes.
and getting banned because he's black
That,
and
and
said the
Abbott,
That
N-word.
are you
doesn't
saying?
make any sense.
I asked you causation. I asked you the causation of that. I was
Is
like,
your
are you
point that
saying
he
that the
shouldn't have been
ban was the
banned
causation?
and then that this particular application of TOS was improper? Is that your only point, that this one case was bad? What's your
One
point?
case talking about a black guy saying the N-word and getting banned.
So should YouTube have any banning authority? Should they be allowed to do these kinds of things and make discretion calls
No,
where
you go
sometimes they get it
one
wrong?
by one, right? So, for example, do you agree that YouTube should ban black people for saying the N-word?
If they
I
want
think
to.
they
Me?
should.
If that's
Black
the
people
kind of
shouldn't say
community
the
they want.
N-word. It's disgusting.
No, I don't. I don't think that.
Yeah,
What?
they
Do you
should.
think there's nuance?
No,
Is
no,
there?
no, no. But
Like 10 people talk at the same time. I didn't
Your
listen to
conversation is,
anything.
I mean, what you're saying is essentially just they had a bad ban, application of a ban in this particular case. I don't understand how that contributes to discussion about, I guess, the power itself. Should these
I
organizations
mean, did you
even
answer the
have the authority
question?
itself?
Because a lot of people talk at the same time. I
Okay,
think
Wait,
that's
wait,
why.
wait.
The question was, should black people be banned for saying the N-word?
They
No,
should.
no,
No.
no.
Yeah.
The question was, should these organizations and platforms to what extent should they have discretion over banning decisions and the regulation of speech? And he said, well, in this
Whatever
one
they
case-
want. They
No,
made the
I
platform.
just
They
think
can
Wait,
do
black
whatever
people
they want
should
with
get
it.
banned for
okay.
saying the N-word.
Wait, I got
That's
two
the
questions.
question
I got
that
two
asked.
questions. I got two questions. I mean, I guess the first question is, I mean, we could say, well, legally we don't think we can stop them, but culturally we should be all kind of unified that we don't want these, like, just like if any company did something shitty that we all hated, we should all like maybe present some kind of unified front telling them, hey, stop being such fucking censorious bastards, right? Don't stop censoring things just because they might offend some people. We want to have some level of discourse, some level of open discourse. And the other thing is that I've noticed is that, when it comes to this topic in particular, when it comes to banning or censoring conservatives specifically, left-wing people like just totally shift gears and become some of the most free market enterprise defenders I've ever seen in my
Yeah.
entire life, right? So like you have people
They
who
love
are
companies.
who are defending like a company's right to like censor somebody and get rid of somebody because they want to curate a particular community. But let's say that company wanted to hire somebody based on their race. Well, now all of a sudden, oh no, it's okay. Now we can censor. Now we can like intervene. Now we can
So
stop the company from doing
how
it.
left-wing people are hypocrites. I mean, that's kind of boring. I mean,
Oh, hold on. I don't
right-wing
even think
people are
Everyone-
hypocrites
it's
too.
not boring
Yes,
at all.
you're all
Hold on,
hypocrites.
hold on, hold on.
Right-wing
It's
people
not
are
All
boring.
hypocrites.
right,
Exactly.
shut up.
Right-wing
Shut
people
up.
are hypocrites.
Everybody shut up. Okay, sorry. Pisco, you go ahead, and then
Yeah.
I'll give to Liberal Cluck.
I think that observation of hypocrisy is exactly the same way around. Right-wing people absolutely promote and like talk endlessly about the importance of free market principles and the importance of deregulation, except when it comes to the case of large corporations who have speech-related platforms. And once that happens, they turn into Fidel Castro and they want to nationalize everything. And so the observation must at least be equal and opposite.
So there are some people, yes, that are hypocritical on this. I am not. I am not, right? I recognize that, I would be in favor of corporations being able to curate their own community, but I'm also not hypocritical in the sense of, if you're going to let a company curate its own community, you probably shouldn't apply the Civil Rights Act to it, right? This idea of the Civil Rights Act, we're already going into a company saying you can or can't hire, you can or can't sell to, you can or can't provide a product to this entire group of people, based on these kind of arbitrary, protected class designations that we as a government has decided. If we're going to go ahead with that scheme, it would make sense that conservatives could simply argue, well, let's throw on this one more political scheme on there.
This is boring. Liberal Cluck, say
Oh,
something.
well, if this is boring, I was just gonna piggyback on that. I think that there's a fundamental difference in allowing somebody on a platform compared to hiring them based off of race. So, like, those are just two different concepts. I could be a liberal.
Why?
I could be a liberal.
Well, come on. I mean, wait, hang on. You can't say come on. Like, there isn't. I understanding that the lines will be blurry and there's going to be difficult cases. the Supreme Court and other courts have made distinctions between expressive conduct and just conduct, right? You wouldn't say it's a free speech issue to make a prohibition on drunk driving. I mean, why not? It could be expressive conduct. Who's to say that I'm not doing an artistic display by regulating drunk driving? If you're saying that it's impossible to make the distinction between, employment regulation and speech on Twitter, then what you're saying is that free speech is everything, or speech.
No, I'm talking about with the argument, right? With the arguments that are put forward by the left wing, who immediately becomes and caps when the topic of free speech comes up on Facebook censoring people. The argument is always they're a company, they can do what they want, they can curate the kind of community they want to curate, except for all the million different exceptions that they have.
You're saying there can be no reasonable distinction between expressive conduct and employment regulation, and that nothing in between that will be principled such that one would be okay and one would be not okay.
Not just employment, but also like who you sell to, right? So like in the same way you can't, you've got to have some kind of equal access to the things that use
everything. Now, I could have American.
I'm pointing out your hypocrisy. No, not your. I don't know your belief in this particular, right? But the left wing's hypocrisy here, right? If you want the companies to do what they want to do, you can, but it doesn't make sense to regulate them on literally everything except for when it comes to censoring conservatives, right? Because that's what you really want to do.
This is like a rabbit trail. Yeah, this is absolutely a rabbit trail, because if you'll recall, I'm lefty. Okay, I'm left, not. I'm Federalist left, but whatever. I'm on the left, and I'm the one who introduced that you absolutely cannot have a public place and space that is being regulated, because, in the most charitable interpretation I could find, you cannot enforce terms of service without in some way having a crisis between the First Amendment and terms of service, because that would be the government enforcing it. So that's like in my most charitable interpretation, without any advice. I'm the one who said you can't have it run by a public entity. I'm not saying that they should just suddenly be able to stop. I am fully aware they will unfairly ban women, they'll unfairly ban men, they'll unfairly ban black people, and they still need to have a way to enforce their terms of service.
Can I ask you? I'll ask you a question, Sabby. If tomorrow Facebook added a new thing to their terms of service, they're a private company, they're a state-based, they want to curate. Yeah, they added a element to the terms of service saying only white people are allowed on Facebook now. Would you want the government to intervene then?
No.
It'll have to be a case. No, it'll have to be a case.
I gave you the case.
Hey, wait.
I know.
I want to hear from Carantos. Carantos, what do you think?
First of all, that would be fucking illegal, so that will never happen. Number two, if that were to happen, I would 100% support it, because Facebook is the most dog shit fucking platform, and people like Stabby deserve to be on there forever.
Facts.
Oh my God.
I have no Facebook.
Let me just say this.
I have no Facebook.
When it comes to the fucking right or the left is the most disgusting, hypocritical people you'll ever fucking meet in your entire life. The right might be fucking retarded, but at least they're more consistent than the fucking left, okay? Don't talk to me about the left.
Why don't you describe it?
I'll give you one. Would you say that the left is the party of science? Would you say that they're the ones that know the science?
That's where we're going? Point out a hypocrisy.
Yes,
Point out a hypocrisy.
I will point it out. Just
Okay.
listen. I'm taking you with me, right? Like I'm fucking kidnapping you, okay? Listen. Yes or no? Yes or no? Would you say that
No,
the
and
left is the one?
yes and no. No when it comes to astrology. No when it comes to your question is you have a dialogue tree and it's very cute. You have a dialogue tree and it's very cute, but why don't you be more specific than just science versus not science?
His answer is yes. He's just refusing to answer the question.
He's a little slow, okay? I'm
So what do you mean? Hold on. So what do you mean by is the left the party of science? What do you mean by the leftist party of science?
What do you
Hold
mean
up.
by that?
How are you quantifying this?
How the fuck are you asking me a question and talking over me, you fucking retarded animal?
It's not my fault. You don't know what words mean. Okay, sweetie pie, like calm down.
I know how words mean.
What do you mean science? I don't understand.
No,
What is
Fight all,
even
honey. It helps.
science?
Okay.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
White or a lefty? Let's do that. Who's more likely to take a vaccine, and who's more likely to say that Bill Gates fucking put the microchips to fucking control us?
Left-wing Democrats are more likely to take the vaccine.
I wouldn't.
Okay, thank you.
I don't understand what
Who's
you
more
mean by
likely to believe
vaccine.
that global fucking warming is an actual fucking real issue? Is it the
The
righties
left
or
wing
the
is more
lefties?
likely to cite global warming as a problem.
Okay, there you go. So therefore, I would say that lefties are generally more fucking, grounded in science than the fucking righties are. Yes or no?
No, hang on. You're
all
begging.
lefties
Hang
on Twitter.
One second.
Oh,
You're
I
begging.
think-
You're,
oh.
wait. Can we
That's
explain
fine.
this? You're
Wait,
begging the
wait.
question. Right?
Depends on the science.
Righties, the
It's a
right wing
fallacy.
people.
version of Mr. Potato Head that I
Excuse
don't
me.
like
Excuse
it.
me. Excuse me.
Whoa.
The right wing people actually disagree. One, that the vaccine's effective on the science. They don't say the vaccine is ineffective because of God. They say the vaccine is ineffective because of science. They disagree on the merits on climate change. They don't say climate change isn't real because I don't believe in science. They say climate change isn't real because I believe in science, and the science is the other thing.
Get
And
the
so-
fuck outta
Oh
here.
yeah, so
Wait, are you-
disingenuous.
do you disagree?
What a
Do you disagree?
liar.
Cut it out. Cut it
Wait,
out.
Liar.
wait, hang on a second. Do you disagree that the
argument.
right wing? Do you think the right wing doesn't think that the vaccine arguments are backed by science? They think that
The
science is
right-
on their side.
I promise you, if you were to fucking show any right winger who's against the vaccine 1 billion fucking studies about how the vaccine is effective and how the vaccine actually fucking helps you, and it's all peer reviewed.
They have their
and
own
it's fucking
studies.
agreed. Yeah, their own study. And is that science when somebody
No,
gets
they
somebody from
believe it.
Walmart to
You're
make their
assuming
studies?
you're assuming that the left wing is right on all these issues, and I probably would grant you on these issues. I do believe in global warming. I do believe the vaccines are effective, and I believe the
Obviously you
science
do.
is on their side. But you're begging the question by saying the left is more. You're conceding to the left that their arguments are scientifically backed, and I'm just saying the right wing doesn't concede that. The right wing thinks that science is on their side. Actually, in fact, they believe that science is on their side so much they actually think that science backs up biblical accounts, and so it's not the case that the right wing just throws science to the side. They
What do you think-
incorporate it
okay,
into
no,
their.
no, no, what do you think about their science? Do you think their science is
Well, I think
actually
I think it's
any
bullshit.
way?
Listen, I think it's
There
bullshit.
you
But you
go.
saying
Then how the fuck is it science? If I just called my fucking shit that I
but
scribbled
you're
on a paper
asking me.
science,
You're
that's
asking
stupid.
me are you asking me whether I think the left wing is more actually backed up by science or the left wing claims they are?
Years. God
Listen,
damn.
whatever
You know,
makes your heart
funny.
happy.
argument
You're saying the
started
left
as
is more
who
fucking
should be able to speak on Twitter and if we
Fuck
should
that, fuck
regulate
yes.
speech. And I think, based on this conversation, that all of you guys shouldn't be online speaking at all. I think
Twitter
you guys
doesn't
all should be
deserve me.
banned.
Cool.
I think it's
Cool, dude.
it should be against TOS to have such retarded conversations
Pisco, I got a
about
question.
fucking vaccines
Oh.
in 2023.
Oh, so
and
hold on, hold on,
oh,
hold on,
is the
hold on.
right
Wait,
better
wait,
or the
wait, I gotta jump in.
left better? Oh,
I gotta jump in.
I think
I'm gonna jump in here. Hold on.
the right did this,
so-
the left did that, blah, blah, blah.
These men need
Who
my
cares,
help.
bro?
Somebody get these men a Midol. All right, now hold on. Here's my question. So you were just now saying that you, Bo Blacks, you were saying that you were okay with like going ahead and expanding TOS. So how is an
Oh, kill me. Fuck the TOS.
anti-TOS is being like how is TOS being enforced in a
TOS.
bad way?
Fuck
Now you
you.
want to make it more authoritarian and based on thought.
Come you.
right?
When did I say it was being enforced in a bad way?
No.
If you
We're
can
we're
still
talking
back
about
that.
whether TOS. We're talking about whether TOS is being enforced improperly. Why would we expand it if we think it's being enforced improperly?
I don't think it's being enforced improperly.
So what do you think we should ban with the TOS?
I think we should ban people like you who
like,
are
red-
annoying.
Great fucking conversation, guys.
So
Please,
off
think-
of annoyance. Wait, so how
Yes,
do you,
exactly.
like how would we go ahead and get that graph of what
Just
annoyance is?
just like liberal Cluck was saying, people who are impolite, we only should have polite, happy conversations on Twitter. And you talking is making me very sad. So bye.
Okay, so you are making the distinction on what we're going to use it for.
Well,
I think
Yes.
he's I think he's
feel
Well,
like,
not
I think
being
that's
serious.
what they should do. I think that's what they should do. I don't own Twitter. Daddy Elon gets to decide.
I
yeah.
think that there was a useful conversation.
But he should
Yeah,
have me
you-
on speed dial for ideas. Yeah.
There's a useful conversation that was happening between.
Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. I got a question for you, buddy.
What's up, man?
Do you believe that there are any biological differences between men and women?
Yes, of course.
I hate you so
no.
much. You know how much I fucking hate you.
Do I think there's biological differences between men and women? Yes, I do.
Do you believe that fucking cis women should compete against trans women in sports?
That's a little more difficult.
Yes.
I think
How is that difficult? You just said there's biological differences. How is
Well,
it difficult?
Yeah,
Yes.
women
Depends
are
on
worse.
Yes, they should.
I think it depends on
Guys,
which.
topics are hard for Carantos. We need to talk about the things he
What do
knows
you
about,
mean
which
it's
isn't very
dependent?
much. So it's
Even
fine.
in fucking
Just
there's
trans
difference
sports,
in
that's
fucking
what he knows
tactics
about.
between men and women, and that's not physical at all. So it doesn't. Honestly, it doesn't even fucking matter if the sport is physical or not. So you're fucking.
All that matters is that I'm stronger than you, Q.
It doesn't
All that
hold.
matters is I'm stronger than
My
you. Moving
fucking
on.
So it doesn't
left
matter.
pink
It doesn't
toe is
matter the
fucking
time.
stronger than you.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm getting
okay.
canceled.
I
Oh,
think
Fight
because-
him.
No, because
Yes.
I'd like to hear your answer.
Oh yeah.
You want to hear my answer?
Yes, I would love to hear
Because
your
before you
answer.
said it doesn't matter whether or not
No,
the
it matters. I'm not the walk.
you
It
acknowledge
matters
that you
what
acknowledge
say.
that sports you acknowledge that sports could have no it is theoretically possible that sports have no inherent advantage for either male or female. Is that theoretically even possible?
Okay, so
Is that possible? Yes or no?
It is 100%.
what sport are you
Wait,
talking
is it?
about?
Wait, can I
Women
get an
should
answer to
box
that?
men.
Excuse me.
No, no, no.
Wait, can I get an
Women
answer to
should
that?
MMA
Is it
men.
possible
No way.
theoretically?
To be
Is it even
makes
possible theoretically?
Of course, it's possible theoretically.
Wait, can I ask Corantos? Is that possible?
Wait.
say no.
Oh, he's not going to
Say
answer
no.
the question.
And
All
Alright,
right.
no,
please
no,
answer
no,
intelligently.
no,
The answer is yes, of
no,
course.
No, fuck you. You want me to say no? No. Listen to me. Listen to me.
Oh, it's
If
not
you
even
have a
possible
fucking
theoretically.
Listen, if you
Okay.
have a basketball, let's play this game. If you have a fucking basketball player,
Oh, I'm not
it's
going to
a
answer
man
your question until you
versus a
answer my
woman.
question.
I
I
answered
don't
your
A
play that game.
basketball
What, did I
player.
just not say no? Did I just not say no?
Are you saying it's
Yeah.
not possible for a sport, even theoretically, to have an inherent, to have no inherent advantage to either male or
He
female?
said no.
I
It's
wanted
not
to
possible.
ask you. You need to specify what sport, because if the sport has
Oh, I
nothing
don't
to do
actually.
with your why not?
I'm not.
Why not?
Because the
Billiards.
parameters of my hypothetical aren't specific to a sport. And if you can't engage with an abstract
If we're
hypothetical, that's
fucking
another
taking-
issue.
no,
That's
no,
another
no,
issue,
listen,
my friend.
We're taking
That's
in
another
all
issue.
sports. There must be a sport where men and women are fucking damn near identical. Sure, yes, sure.
Okay.
But
So
if
you
you're
would-
telling me
you would
the
admit-
vast majority of sports, the
You
fucking
admit, or at
football,
least
tennis,
you
all
admit
of them.
for the set of sports for which there is no inherent advantage to either male and
Name
women.
those sports, by
the
the way. I don't know
Oh
what these
no,
are.
men have an
Name the
inherent
sports.
advantage in chess because
Name the sports.
women
to
are
the
dumb.
extent to which they exist, no, that
I don't even
those
know about
sports-
their existence. Well, what are these sports? I've never seen
to the
these fucking
extent to
sports.
which they
Name 'em.
exist, they should not be segregated, right? If those sports exist, correct? So the
Name-
question is,
If-
what is the
if-
question is the question real?
That's
The
a
only
Do
reason
they-
the only reason
Are
I
they
do
fake?
this, I mean, there's a
Do
why
you
am I
make
asking?
up sports?
Do you know why am I asking these questions?
Why are you?
Well, why
asking
do
this
why did I even ask that? It's so ridiculous for me to ask it. Do you know why I just asked that?
No,
Because
please.
you're
Why are you-
disingenuous.
What I'm trying to get to is that what we care about are these inherent biological differences, and we are tolerant of maybe some advantage in some areas, but we're not, because that is true, because there is everyone agrees that just being born with different genes imbues individuals with inherent abilities over others. Cristiano Ronaldo has different genes than Stephen Hawking. All right, we understand that. Well, the problem we have with non-segregated sports is when there's just demonstrable, huge, and consistent advantage, that's significant advantage between the sexes. That's, I think, what we have the problem with. And so we have to know where that exists. Does it exist for most contact sports? Probably yes. In which case, I think it would make sense to have some kind of sex segregation, at least now, right? But I think that for each sport that you're talking about, it's not any difference. It's significant, consistent, historical differences. And that might actually include a lot of sports, but I don't think that it's all sports. And so you should be specific.
Where men and women have barely any fucking differences. Name the sport. Name the sport, because even in fucking chess, men and women are ranked differently, and that's all fucking mental. So if you're telling me that this sport exists where men and women are damn near neck and neck, please name this hypothetical
What I'm
sport.
saying is
Name
that
the
we need to have an
sport,
honest
do it.
we need to have an honest conversation.
Yes, this is an honest conversation.
About our tolerance
Name the
levels.
sport.
Our
I'll tell you the
tolerance levels.
level.
Do it.
I would not play fucking basketball or fucking wrestle or box against somebody who's fucking roided up. And that's the difference between a trans woman and a cis woman. Even if they're on fucking HRT, whatever the they're on, about them near 2 years, they're still
They're literally on
like,
drugs.
it's like fucking Arnold against a baby. I mean, not that.
Okay,
Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense to have sex segregated basketball leagues.
Okay, so
You think I disagree with that?
You can see it on basketball, you can see it on probably football and soccer.
Yeah.
You probably
Soccer, yeah.
can see it on swimming, for example. Was that NCAA trans woman who
What?
won? Right? Would you
With
concede?
swimming?
Yeah, with swimming, would you concede?
Well, here's another issue, right? You've now identified it. Do we have any difference in our consideration
Body.
and appreciation for the inherent biological difference at different levels of competition. Let me give you an example, right? I don't care about the inherent biological advantage between men and women in an IM rec league. I don't care about that. I'm in rec leagues and IM leagues and soccer where it's co-ed. That's okay, right? In high school, likewise, you have some leagues are actually fully integrated, and that's without respect to trans individuals. And so I think that honestly, at the high school and maybe even certain divisions of the college level, the reason for having these sector segregation are less important because what matters in the sports is the team building, camaraderie, learning about.
Absolutely not. That is such a.
Okay.
I was about to
Okay.
agree with you when you said, anything that is lesser than pro, maybe like
Yeah. So like I'm not
I
so
think
I haven't
in
haven't
high
been much.
schools there should be a line to go into like trans sports, and like they hand off HRT to like everyone like as they go down the line to
Okay, is that
kind of
is that topic relevant?
Listen to me.
Okay,
Listen to me.
you can just talk. You can just say whatever
We
you
have
want.
we have fucking
Watch your
people.
subject.
We have people work their fucking ass off to get a
gave up.
fucking scholarship, a D1 scholarship, and they're telling me, no, listen, it's all about team building. Fuck you, you goddamn
No,
poor
wait, hang
girls
on a
that work
second.
their ass off to be
Hang on a
fucking great
second.
and lost their fucking scholarship to
Hang
some
on a second.
fucking
First of all,
trans woman.
First of all, I did not say at all levels of collegiate sport. I have to think about it, right? I haven't spent hours and hours considering. I'm not an expert in collegiate sports. I don't know, where it's most important that these sex differences are maintained. But I'm just saying, I think that can be totally possible that there's some level of college sport where it's not as much about the competition. And to the extent that there is a competition, maybe we do care about those differences. But I'm not convinced that all sports are like that. And I don't think that they all need to be segregated. And I think that's fine. And I think that you guys all agree with that too, just at different levels. I'm sure,
No.
do you really?
I've got a question. I've got a question for you,
I also don't think
Qantas.
there's a huge. I also don't think there's
Okay.
a huge body of evidence to show that trans athletes are displacing the vast majority of female athletes, at least not yet. And so I'm not so sure that the magnitude.
Yet.
I have
I'm
no
not sure
idea
the
how we
magnitude
got
is
on
a
this
big
topic,
issue.
but let me give the floor to Lactoid. Okay.
Yeah, I just want to ask Qantas a quick question. So, women's sports are essentially affirmative action for women, right? They can't compete at the high levels, so we put a whole bunch of money and attention on the top women who are play probably about the same skill level as lower undergrad or high school boys, right? Why, instead of doing that, instead of having this affirmative action program for women athletes, we instead let them play at their skill level and have more of like a tiered system, right? Where we have like a platinum tier and a gold, like League of Legends, right? And so like in the bottom tiers, you have like the children and like perhaps like the disabled or whatever. And then as you go up, you get some women to high school boys. And at the very top, you're going to have all the men. Why not just do it that way instead of having these fucking like arbitrary like fucking lines where we're giving women all this money and attention for no real reason? What about that?
So you'd say that you would match up grown women with high school kids because
Yes.
that's
Because that's where they play at. Yes.
So wait, disabled people and kids are playing together? What if the
Sure.
disabled people are pedos? What? Why are like grown ass?
They're going to be supervised by people.
At the end of the day, the reason why
Yeah, they
people
could be
don't watch women's
pedophiles.
sports, the reason why people don't watch the WNBA, for example, versus the NBA, is not because of a gender issue.
It's because of a skill gap.
It's a skill gap.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, you're not fucking defeating the problem that most women have today. So today, it's not only about the trans women are fucking displacing us. It's not only that. It's also that they complain about not getting paid enough, for example.
Right.
So you're not fucking
because you are defending the affirmative action that women are getting here.
Sure, but you're still not saving them from their misery because they still won't get paid regardless. If
they shouldn't get paid if they're not good enough.
So what you're basically doing right now is taking women from a fucking dignified position where at least they're playing against other grown women, putting them with fucking children,
yes,
and still paying them nothing.
Yes. They're overpaid. Honestly, they're overpaid.
Okay.
No, I do agree.
I want to give.
I want to give
a
fucking fair position.
Okay,
Because at that,
guys,
it's just gonna be trans women versus trans women, and they're getting paid more than cis women.
Okay, I want to pause. Everybody pause. Okay, I want to give Dame a second here if he has anything he wants to say.
Oh no, I don't want to say anything.
No, he doesn't have anything
fucking
to say.
conversation.
Okay, Bo Blacks, do you have
Women
anything
playing
to
with
say?
babies.
I feel like this conversation is the same conversation that we've had or people have had for the last like.
You guys don't even want to talk about topics. You just want to talk about the conversation. It's all meta with you guys. You guys want to laugh at people talking, not make arguments, and
Yes.
just talk about the.
It's a little hard to make
That's
an
true.
argument when you're fucking
Wait, hang on a
ranting
second.
about
And how below you the conversation is. The conversation is so beneath
Yes.
you. You're not even going to
Beneath
comment on
me.
it.
Dude, you could
I'm
fucking
superior.
you could try to explain.
It's because
why-
it's because you can't comment on it.
At the very least,
What do you mean?
I am
literally
better,
can't.
I am
I'm trying to
proud.
interrupt.
You guys
Ay,
are
ay,
so
ay,
bad.
ay,
Why are you
ándale,
making an
ándale.
argument?
I
You're
can't
way
understand.
fucking
Talk
stupid.
about
It's
now.
because
It's
you're arguing in the end.
talking.
No, I get
Shut up! Shut up, everybody! Shut up! Okay, I couldn't hear what Bo Blacks was saying. Bo Blacks, finish what you're saying.
I wasn't done talking Stardust, and what I was saying
Oh,
is,
sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah,
really,
Pisco needs to finish.
it's really
Pisco needs to
annoying.
finish.
It's really annoying when Dank Pesos and Blow Blacks that they're like think that they're
Dank
above this
Pesos.
conversation. They think
You
they're
guys
above
are
this
here to-
conversation. They're not arguing on the merits. They're just making fun of everyone who's trying to take the panel in
They're
good
so
faith
cool. They're
because
so
they think they're
Yes.
smart. But they're
I'm
showing their
smart.
deficit by not actually having the conversation and just laughing and like saying shit like this is so stupid. It's like a
Okay.
child.
It's because
engaging.
you give nobody space to talk. I was
No, you've had-
initially I was coming into. Oh no! Oh, I can't talk. No.
Wait, no,
Pisco,
Bo Black.
finish. Pisco, finish.
Wait.
Hey,
But
does
let's
Pisco
let Bo
wanna
Blacks
speak?
finish.
I
Let's
think
let Bo
Pisco
Blacks
needed
finish.
to say a couple more sentences or paragraphs there.
You were given the
No.
floor and said this shit's stupid, and so was
No.
Damn It Pesos. You
Okay.
both were
Yes.
given the
Okay.
conversation
stupid.
stopped.
All right.
The
This is
conversation stopped, and
stupid
you were granted
shit.
the floor, and you're
Fuck
like,
you.
"This is fucking
Really
dumb."
quickly,
Yes.
my kids are
Yes,
7
it's
and
them.
14. The toddler era is over, so I don't want to deal with the toddlers of Dame Piscos and Quarantos right now. I already did that part of my life, and they can go to the kindergarten where they belong because this is ridiculous.
This is
True,
the verdict
Stabby.
that
Oh,
I shouldn't
okay.
have to do this again.
This is
And
the
ironically.
verdict
Okay.
that I deal
So,
with.
like, if I'm gonna be real, if I'm gonna go
Try
out of
again.
joke mode and be real, if I'm gonna go out of joke mode and be real, okay. I did come on this panel and I wanted to discuss some of the topics, but then like you guys just start like literally Pisco. Sometimes he's talking for like 5 minutes straight about like the American political implications of like why people should be banned on Twitter or something like that. I want to actually discuss this topic, but it's impossible to when you guys go into these like huge rants about like a political system that I'm not American. I'm not part of that country. I thought I was on here to talk about,
No,
you
go
know,
ahead, Bo Blacks. Why
Twitter
don't you?
banning and stuff. And
You're a victim,
and
buddy. You're a victim.
I guess I don't know. I don't know.
Wait, come on, Toronto.
So eventually, and the conversation
Toronto's,
was,
please.
in my opinion, getting a little boring. So essentially, I did put in some jokes to like entertain the audience and like
Oh, he's
kind of
crying now.
express that this is kind of dumb.
Wow,
like,
wow.
Yeah, okay. Hey,
I don't know.
everybody, shut up. Everybody, shut up. Okay, Bo
Do you
Blacks.
think
Why
that's
don't you
not
give
fair?
us give your opinion? Give your opinion on the topic. How about that?
The topic of so what I was saying with the trans athlete stuff is this has been a debate that's been going on for the like multiple decades or whatever, and honestly like I'm pro trans, but I also see the like biological like physical differences between a trans woman and a cis woman, depending on how far they are in their transitions and what they do or whatever. So I do understand the arguments, and I don't really know the answer. I think the answer might be to make another separate trans league, like a third one, but then there's not enough trans athletes. So it's a complicated scenario, which is why we've been arguing about it for the last 10 years, and I don't think that that's basically it, I guess.
Well, Blow
I
Blacks.
thought you were
What,
going to
what,
talk about the topic we were brought here to discuss and not this topic. You said you had like the conversation was not going the way you wanted to, and we were talking about all this like weird political shit on a political panel, and it turns out you have nothing to say about the topic related to Twitter banning because it sounded like
Well, I
you
was- I
were
was told
taken
that
away from
I-
your
I-
conversation
I
that you
wasn't
wanted to
told-
have. And so please,
technically
why don't
it's
you
not
tell
a
us what your
Um,
take is
Yeah,
on the
he
actual
said
topic?
American politics, not
Technically, it's
politics
a-
in
it's
general.
a political slash
we were too
drama
American
panel.
for you. Well,
So-
sorry, we were too American for you.
Okay,
Yeah, white gringo.
Listen, hold on,
Fuck you,
hold on.
gringo.
Let us know your end, Blow Blacks. Show us
I'm gonna-
the
Fuck you,
non-American
gringo.
style.
Just
Viva
give me a second.
taco.
Give me a second.
Hey,
Hold on,
Go
hold
ahead,
on.
Stabby. Go ahead.
Blow Blacks, I want to help you out here, okay? I'm trying to help you out, and I'm also going to defend Lactoid while I'm doing it, okay? What Lactoid was actually trying to give, what Lactoid was trying to give at the time is that this is an American company, American laws apply. So what Lactoid was giving was a hypothetical on how this could be challenged if we run into the opposite problem, just in an American law. He wasn't trying to make this all about America or social media and how it has a cultural impact on the world. What Lactoid was trying to do was trying to challenge Pisco on how this would work in a different setting, or if there was an opposite problem. So we're not trying to turn it into an American subject. It's just that at the end of the day, when there's like a suit against them or when they've done something because they're an American company, they're going to face American laws if they've done something wrong. So we're not trying to say that it doesn't have implications around the world. What we're trying to do is we're trying to say that some of these things are kind of unavoidable or will be dicey here in the future just because of the way the laws work in the company, in the country that the company is established in. If Twitter were a British company, we would all be talking about British laws, and a lot of us would be confused. So nobody's trying to tell you that this is an American political problem. We're just trying to tell you that this is
Time
how
out,
it would
time
be
out.
litigated.
She's making a
Okay.
good point. I don't know why.
Listen,
Okay.
you could have
They're
made that
Yeah, she is
incorporated in
making a
other
good point.
countries, so
Bo
doesn't
Blacks, did
matter.
mommy explain it to you now? Are you happy?
Oh my
Now do you
god.
understand why you took that fucking route? Are
I
you
just
happy now?
defended
Yeah, you
both
got
of them
you
to you.
guys
Just
are
take a
yeah.
Midol and calm the fuck down, boy.
Okay,
Oh!
guys. Okay, we are going to move into
Let me
the
scratch
safe.
that one off. Next
We're
one is
gonna
Thug.
move-
Call me Thug. What do you mean, boy?
We're,
Who's boy?
hey,
You're a boy.
It's boy. You
She
thug
called you a
nigga.
boy.
It's boy.
You're
She
a
has no
child.
respect for
It's
you.
1 out of
Attack.
3. It's 1 out of 3.
Attack
I'm
her.
more man than you are.
Not on
Shut
my
the fuck
mom.
up.
Not on my
okay,
mom.
all
Don't
right,
do that.
guys. I'm gonna try and bring some order to the panel. Okay, I'm gonna try and bring some order to the panel. So to make this a topic that more people can partake in, let's talk about safe spaces. How about that?
Well, Stardust, I don't think the issue is the topic. I think it's the amount of time people talk. Like, I think Lactoid has been doing a pretty decent job of like being concise, but like Pisco like takes 20 minutes to explain.
Yo,
why the
they're
sky's
asking me
blue.
questions about transports and molding
Pisco,
when
he
I don't
doesn't like
answer
you.
them
He
the way
hates
they
you.
want to.
That is
Why are
true.
you
What
mad
do?
at Bisco for
I didn't
Toronto's
come
like
here to talk
demanding
about
answers?
transports, and I'm trying to do my best to
Neither
respond to
did
a
I.
total zag, a total 180, and you're complaining because someone has addressed me and is asking me questions, and I'm trying to explain in a way that makes sense.
Basically, he's telling you to
See,
complain
you
about the
could have
force.
exactly said just that by like you're upset that I'm talking. Like just say stuff like shorter. It's like takes too
Bro,
long. Like I don't have all day. Like
are
I don't
you
have
stupid?
hours and hours and hours to hear you
Are
say
you
like
dumb?
yes
Okay.
in like a million sentences.
Why don't you
That's
say
all I'm
something
saying.
of value on this topic?
I would love to, but you're
Stop filibustering and
So say
talk
it
about
now.
safe
So
spaces.
say it
I
now. So
did
say it
talk
now.
about the trans
Say it
stuff,
now.
and then when I
Don't
did, you were
complain.
like,
Okay.
"Oh, talk about the
All
fucking
right.
Talk about
All
Twitter
right,
thing," and then I was
everybody.
about to, and then fucking Stabby fucking had to
You're being
explain
emotional
the
right now.
life
That's
choices
Stabby
to me
stuff.
earlier. It's like,
Now relax.
goddamn, like, are you gonna
Relax.
are you
Try
gonna talk
harder.
for
Come
me,
on.
or are you
Calm
gonna talk?
down.
Say
Calm
Try
something.
So
harder.
say it.
Pressure's
What do we
on.
do about
Say
POS?
something
All
of,
right,
of value.
all right, guys. I
Okay,
asked
so
for
about-
I asked
Oh.
I asked for chaos. I asked for chaos. I did not expect this. Okay. But okay. I asked
So
for
much
some
chaos.
chaos.
You asked and I delivered.
You did deliver. Okay.
Thank you.
Bo Blacks, give me your thought on safe spaces. How about that?
On safe spaces, yeah. They should exist. And as far as like the Twitter TOS goes, like I think it's perfectly fine now. Like maybe sometimes Twitter does like some accidental bans where they don't say why you're banned, and like there's like some weird suspensions going on. But generally, with what the TOS is set up currently, it makes sense. Like if you're mad at someone and you don't want to, listen to them, just block them. Like I don't know what your guys' issue is with the current state of social media, and like as I've been listening, all I heard is like your opinion on like free speech in Congress, but like what's your opinion on
Dude, you're
the
talking way
rules
too long,
that
dude. You're talking way too
Wrap it
long.
up, Tony.
Okay, I
You could have
won't.
Wrap
said
it
that
up.
in like one sentence. Why
No,
are
I
you spending
actually
so much
couldn't have.
time? Yeah, no, you were like
Okay,
gloating about
okay, you
something
do
so weird.
you say exactly what I did in a more concise way. Go.
Wait, whoa. No, I don't want to have to do that. You just say what you said, but shorter.
Okay.
How could I have said it shorter? Show me an
So-
example.
Because you were like going on and you were like talking too long. And, like,
You can't stand someone who's talking that isn't you for more than 2 minutes. I literally talked for 3 minutes.
No, bro.
And you got
that
mad.
was too long.
3
That was too long.
minutes.
I don't even know your position.
I
You're like
get it.
talking
You're
about something I don't
triggered
understand.
that I said that you talk too long,
Okay, I
but
can
you
ask
do.
Lactoid a question.
That's why
I can
you
get
don't
away
get
from
any
this.
viewers.
I can
Like,
get away
that's-
from this. Lactoid,
Okay.
I will discuss
are you?
libertarianism versus federal government with you for,
Don't even scream,
for
I'm a lawyer.
24 hours straight, and it
Who
will
are you, dude?
be more fun than this, and I look forward to it. Okay. Fucking
I
Jesus.
get into
White
all the
Go.
memes. Yeah.
This is white to white crime. Bo
Jesus
Black.
Christ.
This
Oh
yeah,
my
you go
God.
do that to your fucking 30 viewers while I go to my hundreds of thousands.
I don't have any viewers. I don't have a stream. Like
Whoa,
that.
wait,
I
you
don't
you
have a stream.
Get fucked.
I don't
I
have a
was
stream.
more-
I
You
will stream.
Guys,
know who I
it is
am?
that. Wait.
I'm a
Okay.
mid-sized Twitch streamer.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Guys. Okay. Let's move on to the next topic here. Okay. Since
Okay.
all right. Okay. Next topic. The next topic is politics online. Okay. Is everyone grifting? Is anyone
Yes.
genuine?
Whole Blacks
How
is
do you
No.
grifting
tell?
right now.
Everyone's grifting. Political
you-
streamers are mostly grifters.
Do
Any
online-
successful
Yeah.
ones, for sure.
Politics
let her
ever
finish the
affect people in real
question.
life?
You guys have fucking attention disorders.
I have a serious answer to this question. This is obviously not a serious panel. But,
Yeah.
It depends.
But,
Honestly, let me just say one thing, okay? It depends on the week. One week it can be very serious. The next week it can be all drama, and it looks like this week is all drama. So
All
go
drama,
right
I
ahead.
yes.
think it's
Yeah.
gonna depend on the people you invite, and I know
Yeah.
at least 2 people on this panel that you seem to have invited specifically because they are chaotic, which is fine. This is your thing, and it's successful for you. I like serious stuff better, but my answer to this question is absolutely. I think that everybody, not just the streamers, are grifting. And the reason why I know this is because look at the rhetoric that you see online. When you got the right saying that the left are a bunch of groomers, teachers are a bunch of groomers, like that's a serious charge, and institutions aren't doing anything about it. The cops aren't doing anything about these teachers grooming our kids. If they were serious, if they actually believed what they say, that would be like justification for violence. And then when you got the left saying things like the trans people are being genocided, that is a serious charge. And if people seriously believe that, then that would be justification for violence. But we don't use these things as justification for violence for good reason because they're not true, and we know they're not true. But for some reason, people are still going online and saying this shit anyways.
Great answer.
All right, I can give my intro. Not everyone is grifting, but I have a theory I've been working out the past couple of days that online Discord is moving towards something of a Jersey Shoreification. I think this has formerly been known as the Jerry Springer effect. I think we've seen some of it here, where people tend to prioritize conflict over substance because of an audience desire. I think this is probably correlated with the reversal of the Flynn effect in the developed world. As IQ decreases, we continue towards idiocracy, where all entertainment is stupid and devoid of interesting discourse in exchange for loud insults and offense. Unfortunately, I don't think there is anything that any individual person or creator can do to halt this, but I think it's actually more reflective of just audience preference, which is correlated with the dropping intelligence, specifically in the West.
Why are you coming for my
Well,
brain? Lactoid? What the fuck?
yeah, I mean, everything he said made sense, and I do agree with it to an extent, but I do think that people can have productive conversations while having, like, a bit of entertainment or zing in there. Like, obviously, what I was doing, like, 10, 5 minutes ago was way, way over the top and not productive at all, but, like, I think people are capable of having productive conversations while adding, like, a tinge of flair or spice to it or, like, some type of entertainment value. Like, people are entertained by people talking. That's why there's talk shows. That's why there's podcasts that are successful, and there are constructive conversation in those podcasts, but it's also entertainment as well, right? Like Joe Rogan. Like, there's there's constructive conversation. I assume, I have never watched it, but that's what everyone watches, so I'm giving you that as an example. But so you understand, right? Like, I don't think just because there's like a bunch of screaming matches and people like it and stuff like that, that necessarily everyone's just becoming dumb and are incapable of a intelligent thought.
I think that there's a lot of people who are grifting clearly, but I think there's also a underestimation of the amount of genuineness on the internet, and I think you see that through incidents like what happens with the Trump election stuff and the amount of people who are genuine about their intentions and about their beliefs with respect to that. And on the left, I think a lot of genuineness with respect to some of the identity stuff that maybe people on the right here don't agree with. That people actually do believe that it's not okay to be white or something like that, right? And so I do think that while there are grifters maybe funneled at the top, there's a lot of genuineness, I think, in the building blocks of the online spaces, and people act as though it's real. People act as though it's serious, and so it needs to be taken seriously.
I
I want
think
to hear
that
from Taco Man. I want to hear from Taco Man. Taco
burrito.
Man, what do you think about this?
Ay, ay, ay,
Whatever.
ándale, ándale. It's me, Taco Man. I mean, when you
Yes.
talk about grifterism, you talk about something that not only applies to politics, it applies to every single topic on the internet that is popular, right? The more popular, the more money, the more advertisers. That attracts people trying to make money. That attracts people trying to make money that are not into that topic. So you see a lot of the movie reviewers, they don't like movies, the anime, they don't watch the anime, the politics, they can leave or take. I mean, you have people like Vought like promoting the liberal politics, but also can't stop talking about pedophilia or child pornography. If he was honest, right? Mm, that makes
Or
your
like
politics look
maybe a
bad, you
better
wouldn't
example
do
would.
it.
Mhm. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just meant like
Oh no, keep
maybe.
going.
Yeah, another example is like Hassan, right? Like he preaches like communism or whatever, but he has these $1 million mansions, that
Oh
stuff like
yeah.
that, right? Like
Here's
that,
a
I feel like that's
Or
the
like his
perfect
uncle,
example.
Jen Huger.
I think the
Yeah, like
examples
his
of example.
uncle, Jen Huger, the Holocaust denier progressive.
I
Used to
think
be
that
Republican, centrist, center right, center left. Now he's socialist and progressive.
no. I
Don't
think
talk to
that
him about the Armenians. What?
the most like the biggest example of grifting that we've seen so far was probably what came out about Fox News recently, where they admitted that they didn't believe the shit that Trump was saying, but they were pushing it anyways.
Wait, was
Oh yeah,
that wait,
none of
was
them
that
believe
was that in
it.
response to a lawsuit though? Because sometimes you got to say shit in response to a lawsuit that might not actually
Well,
be.
It
No,
was
he
well,
got
leaked
no,
emails,
these
documents.
were
subpoena
yeah,
No, it
the
was in
emails.
emails
response
came
to the
out.
yeah, it was in response to the documents that were leaked that show exactly what the text messages were saying
Sure.
on the days leading up to it.
Like a
So that
summary
they
judgment
didn't
motion.
believe it
Yeah.
then.
Yeah, well,
I-
so that's fucked, right? I mean, I think there is something important and critical about being genuine about your opinions, and if it came out that they just didn't believe that shit, but they were, kind of peddling it anyway, I think that shows a lack of integrity on them. Obviously, I'm not gonna whataboutism. I do think everyone does it, but they deserve unique criticism if that's what they were doing, and that's fair.
Well,
Yeah.
I want to be very specific here when it comes to the grifting portion, because we are talking about online spaces for these kinds of topics. Okay, so I want to try to stay there as much as is humanly possible because this is a giant topic. Media always is. Um, when it comes to like online spaces and when people are grifting or not, I do somewhat agree with Pisco there. I agree that there's a lot of people that start out with very genuine. I do think that sometimes when you're giving this much time to this space and you need to make money off of this space, there can be an element of what people see as grifting. But I would like to point out that I think the grifting really shows up and we need to differentiate. I'm sorry about my lighting. I'm over here sewing and I don't have lighting in here. So it's kind of bad. I apologize, everyone. But I think that when we're talking about uh, when we're trying to like separate what is grifting and what is just making a living, and what is genuine, we really need to be aware that some people have learned these really bad habits where CNN is all like, yeah, this war is actually in your backyard, half a world away. Or where Fox News is all like, a plastic toy means apocalypse. And you're like, dear God, everyone calm down. So, like, they have learned some really bad habits, and there are some that you can definitely tell are complete grifters. But I would say not to like jump to that conclusion in an online space. A lot of times it's trolling. And I've noticed some of the most genuine, good at it trolls don't have a stream. They don't have an income way to do this. They're just there to like poke at people because it's entertainment. And I would just like leave them to that. That's not a big deal.
Even the people who make money off of it, though, like it's hard to blame them. Like Hassan, for example, in particular, I think is one of the best examples of an individual grifter that exists. But when you're making that much money and you're buying mansions and you're partying up with like Playboy women and all that shit, I mean, where are the incentives pointing? And the incentives are pointing to LARP like a fucking lefty because that's how you make money. So, fuck.
Are you telling me that Daily Wire is poor?
Exactly.
This is the problem. Like one of the
Yeah.
issues here is like there's so much incentive to be dishonest that like I think a lot of it just is like a audience issue. A lot of it is like where is the money and why is the money there? Why are people
Exactly.
addicted to that? Why are people addicted
Yeah.
to this kind of that kind of content? That people like Hassan or people like or like organizations like Fox News and CNN that like the kind of shit that they're putting out. Why is that so popular? And I think it reflects poorly on America.
Yeah,
Because
everything you were
people
saying.
need to feel under threat. People need to feel like their boring little lives have some kind of thing that's coming for them. Like that's why they like grab onto that stuff. There were these magazines that used to do it back in the 90s. I remember them very clearly. They were all like women feminists are going to force all girls to take birth control. Like that's what they were saying back then, and it's so tiring. Like it's fine.
I think
Okay.
it's much
People
more.
want to feel like there's something important.
I think there's much more. People need some kind of identity, and they identify with these political movements. And when even in the face of like overwhelming evidence, they can't get out of the political movement because then they're completely betraying their identity.
Yeah, so I think what Lactoid said was like perfect. I pretty much agree with everything he said, and I think the reason why, since you're asking why, it's this it's confirmation bias, right? For people who know any basic psychology, you know what do people know what confirmation bias is, or should I explain it?
No, we
Please
got it.
Explain
explain it
it.
to us.
We know. I
Explain it to
know.
us idiots.
People
Well, yeah,
like people
there's
like
also
what they
the
think.
audience. Yeah, exactly.
Karantos needs it.
The reason people grift is like because if they're so far right or so far left, you're gonna cast a wide net of people who are like kind of left or all the way left or whatever, and get the biggest audience possible to the most amount of people who want to hear their side. They don't want to hear new opinions. They just want to hear their opinions kind of reiterated in a way where they can ape the talking points of the person they're watching for their own personal conversations or just, to
Listen.
watch and consume. So that's the most profitable. And since the number one goal with a lot of these YouTubers is profitability and viewership and growth, they are obviously going to be disingenuous in order to maximize that, because being extremely one side or extremely the other casts the widest net in the widest possible demographic than being nuanced, because you will like piss off one side or the other. Why piss off one side when you can guarantee get love from one side and then the other side can just fuck off?
It does
'Cause it's
not
the
pay
bigger
to be in
point.
the fucking middle, okay? It pays to be either on one side or the other completely.
Exactly.
Okay? If you're a
Can
fucking nuance centrist fucking Andy, you will never fucking get paid. Most people grift because it gets them paid. Most people fucking
Exactly.
realize, hey, if I fucking fully take on this position, I'll have way more supporters than if. And by the way, those supporters are the ones that are more likely to actually fucking financially support you because they really fucking believe in you. But if you're in
So
the middle, you'll have people that are halfway in, halfway out. They don't really care. They'll show up every once in a while. That's why people grift, because it's good for them.
Exactly.
okay,
But what about
so
people who?
no, that's
Go
the
ahead.
sky is blue. Congratulations. Yes, we agree. Now, you can't really do anything about that. Are you going to tell Karantos that he has to start having feminist women on his stream and let them talk and like, well, how can I be more feminist? Are you really going to like have him do that? No. And are you just
I'm the
going to
biggest
immediately
feminist
call
you've
him?
ever fucking seen, woman.
Stop, stop, stop,
Go
stop,
make me
stop.
a sandwich.
And are you
Make
going
me a
to
sandwich.
turn around and tell him that he's a
A
grifter if
feminist
he doesn't have
sandwich.
enough of the
Get in
opposite
tune with
side
your
talking
feminine
for him?
side and listen to me.
Wait,
You interrupted me. It's
Stabby.
Hold
not
on.
feminine.
Hold on. You
How
didn't even
dare
hear
you say
that.
I'm not a feminist? How
Awesome.
dare you say I'm not a feminist? That's
So
disrespectful to
that's my
me.
question though. That's my question
You
to
know how
Blow.
much I
Hold
love
on.
women. Okay, go on.
Yeah,
You're
I
allowed to
definitely
speak.
doubt that.
You're
No,
allowed to
that's why
speak.
I was asking Blow.
Yes,
No,
I would
that's
be
why I
gay
was
if all women
asking
were
Blow
like you.
Blacks.
Yes, go on.
Blow Blacks. Would you insist that Karantos has to be, politely invite people who speak for him or who are like teaching him, or else he's going to be called a grifter? That's not fair. Why would we do that to Karantos?
When did I say that?
You
No, no,
didn't.
no.
She's
I'm
trying to
asking
fucking
you.
push us shit
Would
like play
you say
along.
that he's a grifter if he doesn't have enough people on the other side that disagree with him to speak for him and allow a polite space for them to do so?
I think
What would make him a grifter?
they're a grifter if they only pick the extreme political left or extreme political right side of any argument in order to make profit. Like,
No, that's an
the
extremist.
sky's
We already have a
blue.
word.
The sky's
No, no.
blue. Like, I feel
No,
like
No,
that
no.
applies
You're correct.
more
You're
to the
That's
correct.
called
sky's blue
extremist. We
comment.
No,
already have a
Stabby,
word.
Stabby.
Blow
No,
Blacks.
he's right. It actually is. So the part that you missed, what Bo Blacks just said, was it's about, is it for money, right? So if you
Yeah.
go on and you have a genuine extremist opinion, sure, you're an extremist. But if you go on and you like LARP as an extremist because that's what makes you money, you're not actually like genuinely engaging in ideas. You're just like, how do I make fucking money? Then you're a fucking grifter.
Yep.
Okay, it's not just that though. It's not just that. We have things like Shine clothing, right? They're grifters. In a huge respect, they're grifters. They present different kinds of clothing. They present nice photographs and they present good prices, and then you get complete and utter
They
shit.
they
when it comes to
lie
the
for
deal.
money. They lie
Right.
for money.
Exactly. they're
Yeah, it's
grifters too.
people
Right.
who
And
fake
that
it.
isn't a side. Like that isn't a side. That isn't a political side. I'm just saying that there are other things that can show us that a person is a grifter beyond how extreme they are online. I
Yeah,
don't
True.
exactly.
I don't want to
Well,
say that Alex Jones is just a grifter. I actually genuinely believe that Alex Jones believes a lot of the stuff he
No,
said. Like
he's a
Didn't
totally.
grifter.
didn't we start this conversation by saying everyone can be a grifter, but let's just talk about the political stuff? Like, the question was
No, I
about
said online.
political grifters. No, that's what Stardust said.
Yeah,
That
online
we're trying to answer her question
Yeah,
for the
stay on
panel, right?
topic. Stay on topic.
Like, are you changing
The,
the
the,
Well,
the
question?
motivation is what matters.
Yeah. And the motivation's money. And
How
what
do
gets
you
the
tell
most
if
money is
somebody's
to
a grifter?
appeal. It doesn't have to be political. It's appealing to you know, a wide range of people who have the same beliefs. So whether that's let's say pineapple on pizza. There's more pineapple on pizza haters than lovers, let's just say theoretically for this hypothetical. You would make content appealing to the pineapple haters. Even if
How?
even if you secretly love pineapple on pizza because it would make you more money.
How?
So all Ben Shapiro has to do to become a billionaire is like a millionaire is go ahead and talk like
He's
Hassan.
a millionaire.
What? How do we handle the fact that he's a millionaire already?
So
is my
I don't
Yeah,
think Ben
he
Shapiro is a good
talking like
example of a grifter.
Wait,
He's a grifter.
I don't watch Ben
100%.
Shapiro,
No.
but like
The man believes everything he says. How the fuck is he a grifter?
He not only
When the guy tried to what?
not only does he
Remember
believe
when the
everything
guy
he
tried
said,
to-
he made a website about correcting himself every single time he was wrong. Like you can disagree with him, but I don't think he's a grifter in the same way as
No, he
maybe
doesn't
like
believe.
Steven
why
Crowder
does
is.
Dame-
When Ben Shapiro was
why
trying
does
to
Dame
Me
think that
Too.
he's a Dame? Why do you think he's a grifter, Ben Shapiro of all people?
Yeah, because before Daily Wire, right? It was
Mhm.
Breitbart, and he and a woman called Heather Hills or whatever tried to promote false allegations against the PR director of Donald Trump 2016 campaign. Remember that? When the women made up that the guy jolted her on the ground, threw her on the ground. Then the video came out. It was all made up.
Yeah,
Ben Shapiro was
more
like, "No,
Lewandowski?
it's true. It's super true."
So,
They
hold on.
went to the police.
No, he left because
the
he didn't.
women
He,
apparently.
no, he left the
So-
organization because he didn't like how Breitbart handled that investigation and how they handled her accusations, regardless of whether or not the accusations were true or false. Which is that's incredibly
They were
principled
really,
though.
really
on.
false. They
Hold
were
on.
really, really false. So then
That makes him a
because the
grifter.
point is that now, after Ben Shapiro published the false allegations, then he kept saying that they were true, even though they're shown false on video. She wasn't thrown on the ground. It's just on video. She kept changing
Wait,
the
but
story.
why would that show grifting? If
The
anything, that
police
shows,
did
doesn't
an
that show the opposite of it?
investigation and they asked the women because the women posted pictures of her arm and she had bruises. And then the police grabbed pictures that she took that same day and she didn't have the bruises. It was
Wait,
super
why is
made
that
up,
grifting? Isn't that
right?
the
And
opposite?
then after it was proven false, he kept saying it was true, right? And
For
then
money?
he said that he left Breitbart to start a new organization called the Daily Wire, right? They solicit donations to fight
So
the culture war. They want to fight the
Hold on.
culture war by
So hold
making a
on.
cartoon called Pila Papila for 10-year-olds. It's the most
culture war- the
grifter
culture
shit on
war
the
is ridiculous.
planet. And after
But
he
hold
did all of that about Donald Trump trying to fuck him over and sabotage his fucking campaign or whatever, he's now on speeches saying that, oh no, I like Donald Trump now. I like him now.
Okay,
He
so
goes
here's the
from
thing.
one
Here's the thing.
position to the other. He tried to
Wait,
fuck
wait,
over the campaign.
That's
He promoted the
incontinuity.
fake called
That's a lack
continuity.
of
What?
continuity. That's a lack of continuity. People can change genuinely, or they can lie about changing because it's what's best or anything
No,
like that.
he
That's not my
lied.
point.
It's on video.
Stop.
His false
That's not my point.
allegations were
What
proven.
Val Black?
They're fake
Hold on,
as
hold on.
fuck. The
Hold
women didn't
on.
go on the ground.
Wait a second. I'm not
Why?
defending Ben
Hold
Shapiro.
on,
Wait a
why?
second. Dominic, because you're completely off on another rabbit trail. So what Bell Blacks is pointing to is that because liberal ideas are so popular that people are going to grift those and not hold them genuinely because that's how to make money. However, genuine opinions held by the Daily Wire, those are incredibly wealthy, far more wealthy than Hassan. And so this idea would be that, oh, you have to be on the left wing, you have to have this one kind of opinion,
What are you
and then you can
talking
just get
about?
rich if you're faking it. That's why we're talking
No
about
one is
grifting
saying that
specifically.
only liberals are grifters. What?
No. I didn't say that either. I said what I'm doing is I'm comparing. So all Daily Wire would have to do to make even more money is to like just parrot what Hassan is saying because that's what Bob Blacks was talking about.
No,
moment
they're
ago. I'm
pandering
going
to
off
a
of what
different
I'm going off
demographic.
of
That's
what Bob
right
Black was saying.
wing.
Jesus.
What do you guys think about? You think it's bad to grift if like the alternative would be you get banned? Kind of touching back on the first subject, right? Like if you can't make an argument because you're going to get
Not again.
removed from the platform, is grifting then sort of like morally justified because otherwise you're going to be silenced if you come out and say what you actually believe?
I think that's a really good question. I would hope that. Actually, no, never mind. Somebody else go. I need to think about that.
Yeah, Pisco.
I think that's an interesting way to take the topic because I think it cuts against the kind of trend that Bo Blacks was noticing of the most extreme positions being the ones that are associated with grifting. Because I think a lot of accusations of grifting are in fact the opposite, that you are moderating yourself in order to align yourself to the interests of oligarchies or the deep state or the interests of the corporate elite. And I think you see a lot of that. People call not just the extreme people; that people call Anderson Cooper, Don Lemon, people who are more moderate grifters as well. And so I don't actually think I think that people say that those who are moderate are grifting by not giving their true opinions and by moderating improperly. And so I think that is a form that, like, if you are not saying what you truly believe in an effort to, maintain access to revenue streams, I think that could be considered grifting. Yeah.
Right. I would define it as grifting, right? But if it's the only way to get your message out, and you're like getting out a lot of good messages,
the thing is, people might have a way to get around that and just be like, listen, we can't, and people do it. You see conservatives and left-wing people, certain left-wing people, say stuff like, we're not allowed to say it here, folks, but
right.
Come see me at my website over there and we'll talk more about this. Or they're silencing me to do this, but you guys know what's going on. And so there's a way to signal why you are keeping quiet about an issue in a way that I think people can't accuse you really of grifting in that way. If it's clear that the only reason you're doing it is, but then the argument is, are you grifting or are you just trying to spread your message in the most effective manner by not getting destroyed?
Right.
In which case, that would be the opposite of grifting.
Right. So the question is the motivation money or message? Right. That's I think the ultimate question here. Yeah.
But grifting is about money. Didn't we say that it's about
I think
a position that will get you paid the most?
Is money the end or the means? Is money the end?
You could grift for whatever reason. Some people grift just because of they believe in their, or they don't believe in their ideology. When they're faced with evidence, they're going to have that cognitive dissonance because it's physically it's painful for them to admit the other side. But even though like my examples when I was saying that people were calling teachers groomers, but they're not really doing anything about it. Those people are seem like grifters to me because like if you're not doing anything about it, then obviously you don't actually believe what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just for the culture war bullshit. It's just to say, see, we have proof, and then not do anything because they know it won't stand in a court of law.
But like
exactly.
these people on Twitter saying this, they're not making money, but they get to be in this group that makes them feel good, and that's why they're grifting.
Yeah, look at like clout being grifting.
Fucking believe it. What if they just genuinely fucking believe it?
If they believe that teachers
then they're not Then they're not grifting.
How do you believe what they believe? How do you know what they believe then?
Right.
Well, you need evidence.
You need evidence, exactly.
Yeah. So
prove intent.
Then what if they provide you, like when we were talking about the whole trans thing and Pisco, right? He said, but the right has their own science. What if they have their own evidence to prove their fucking position?
That wasn't the context of discussing whether or not you can call one party more or less science, more in favor of science.
No, I'm using that as an example because you said, but the right doesn't act like they're not rooted in science. They still back up their fucking claims with science. So in this scenario,
that would be. This is. Yeah, I guess I can see the parallel.
Not
I
again.
I understand what you're saying. So what you're saying is essentially. What I'm noticing in the right wing in respect to science conversation is a genuine belief that their positions are backed by science, right? Just like I think, I'm going to assume if people are saying things like the election was stolen, I think a lot of them are genuine. I do not think that probably the majority of those people, I probably would assume that unless I have some reason to believe it's a grift, that I'm going to assume that they're genuine. That's just when people say things, I listen to them. And they might be deluding themselves, but I assume that people are genuine when they talk, unless there's some reason to believe otherwise.
If they're random Twitch or random Twitter fucking users, and they say shit like the election was stolen, and they say shit like teachers are groomers, you don't really have a reason to believe that they're grifting. What are they grifting?
Right, that's what I just said. Yeah.
Wait, so either they're grifting or they don't give a fuck about children. Because like if teachers who
are you to say that? Maybe they're exactly because they give a fuck about the kids.
So there's something here.
Do you remember Pizzagate? Where they thought that there was children locked into a basement and being molested. the only person in there that was
By
either
Hillary
belie-
Clinton.
the only person in that whole conspiracy that actually either A, believed what they were saying and cared about children was the person that went down there with a gun. Because like if that was true, if you actually believed that was true and you weren't doing and the authorities weren't doing anything and you didn't do anything about it, then you don't give a fuck about children. Or that, or you didn't
that's
believe
a
what you were saying.
terrible fucking point. That's a terrible point
Yeah, I don't
because
agree with that.
most people on planet Earth
Yeah,
talk
no,
about
fuck
shit
you.
that they don't take action on. They support it verbally, but they never take action on. So unless you're fucking
I think they
litmus test
believe it.
whether someone
I
gives
really
a
do.
fuck or not is actually going to do
This-
action, then that's wrong.
But it's so yeah. So I guess they could not. It's possible that they're not grifting. I do think it's like bizarre when people hold a belief. Like like for example, people who will say things like, "Yeah, I personally believe abortion is murder of children, but I'm not going to stop somebody else from doing it." When people say things like that, I've met so many people that say it that I think they're being genuine. But it's just such a bizarre position that they just clearly haven't thought through.
Well,
that
I think that what that portrays Lactoid is that they don't really consider it that way.
Yeah.
I think that
That's
I think
But they said it though. They said it. They called it murder.
They did say that. They did say that. Okay, I guess then I'm with liberal cuck that a little bit too. Like,
Do you say that?
I think there's a cognitive dissonance. I think that what they're saying. I think they believe that they think like incompatible things, right? They think that these are children. They do really think that, but their actions betray something inconsistent with their genuine beliefs.
Right.
So I don't know what to make of that. Right. I think there is a cognitive dissonance.
What would
Yeah.
you deem action in this? What would you deem action? Because
Like if I actually
about this online many times over.
Right. So if I actually thought that children were being killed by the tens, if not hundreds of thousands, like
millions,
right next to me, right next door, right, being murdered, and essentially for anti-abortion people, this is like a genocide, right? It's something approaching that scale of murder, right, in their mind. If I actually thought that, come on, we would be every day doing something to disrupt it.
No,
and so
we all
you
believe
wouldn't?
that children are starving in Africa. No one cares.
Hang on a second.
Are you
Right.
actually actively sending money to all of these, or is it like what you care about the most?
We're not talking about something that you can rationalize away because it's far away, or something where you can say there's no intentional malicious act.
Or
It's
women
just
getting
because-
raped.
It's just
Oh,
because
you know
they're
what?
children
poor.
getting assaulted.
Wait, hang on.
No
People
one
let you talk when you
cares.
say-
No, is it, how
people
many
let you
different
talk when you have
directions
your
is this going to
bullshit.
go tonight?
So it's not the case
All
that
of
you
them.
can rationalize it away and be like, well, I'm not connected to those people, or there's no malicious actor. It's happening next door, right? It's if they're I believe you
Next
guys. If
door?
you guys,
No,
right?
yes, I
If
get
you
it.
guys,
Go on. Yeah,
you-
go
You
on.
mean in your
if-
country, right? I mean, women
in
get
this
raped in your
wait,
country. You're not
wait,
doing
hang on a-
anything.
And we
People
try to
starve,
stop it.
homeless
We tell the
people.
police
We
to go.
are doing something.
No,
Yes, we
second,
are.
When you see a woman walking alone at night, you just run behind her and say, "Hey, would you like me to walk you home?"
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is like, but I do believe I do believe if you guys saw something like that, you guys would call 911. You guys would, and if 911 didn't do something about it, I do believe that a lot of you guys would speak up. If you were looking and seeing even one kid get murdered, think about how much effort people in America
Who's
go
looking
through.
at other women having
People
an
in
abortion?
people in America go through to discover like one unsolved murder, right?
Yeah.
Think about how much effort and time power to find like one kid who like got remember the Gabby Petito, that stuff? How much attention, how much effort was spent on one person, right? And then the boyfriend who got killed. That shows me that I think that there are people who are motivated that way. And there are people, as I think, liberal cluck said, that,
Just came too naturally, right?
I didn't. My bad.
That's what I thought.
Who do go bomb abortion centers and all that stuff. But the fact that more people aren't doing that, I think it says something, right? It says something about their.
I think you're right.
Absolutely. It's a fair point, absolutely. But at the same time, I also refuse to see it in the way that if you're not actively like fucking standing in front of like Planned
I agree.
Parenthood, fucking rifles.
Yeah, I
waiting
agree.
for-
No, I think that there is a
don't think
genuine
that's
belief
very
there. I think there's a genuine belief there, which is why I'm not discounting it. But it's totally not consistent, and so therefore it must be irrational.
Right.
Either one goes or the other goes.
I mean, but there are certain things that we think about, like for example, let's say the homeless. We'd all like to solve homelessness, especially you American Andes. I'm pretty sure that you motherfuckers see a bunch of homeless people on the daily,
Sure.
especially if you live in cities and all. But at the same time, you actually actively every single time you walk out, hand out fucking $5.
No, Krontos, here's the difference, right? What we're pointing out is like not necessarily the line between belief and action, but for the people we're talking about, there's a contradiction of just beliefs, right? So they hold two beliefs. They hold, yes, murder is wrong and we should stop it, and they also hold the belief abortion is murder. And then the third thing is, well, should we stop it according to premise A, right? Which is we stop murders. Well, I wouldn't tell someone else not to do it. Well, that
those people, I don't agree with those people that say,
there's
"Hey,
so
you
many
know,
people that believe that
I
though.
know there are, but there are some people that believe that abortion is murder. And guess what? Instead of fucking grabbing guns and trying to solve it that way, they actually go to their fucking voting stations and vote for people that make sure that people don't get abortions.
Right, but there's a lot of people that don't
It's
even.
different how they would react.
Right.
It's different than how they would react to the other, right? You wouldn't like imagine someone passed a law in your state that said something like murder of the elderly is now legal in the state of Michigan, right? And there are states, right, where they enshrine state constitutional protections for abortion. If someone in my state, a legislature in my state, passed a law that said it's legal to murder all elderly people, what like I would be like on the I don't know. Wouldn't you guys be like doing something drastic to?
I would be
this is a
upset.
rogue legislature.
I would write a strongly worded letter to my senator saying don't do
There
this.
you go.
Okay,
There you go.
I need to throw I'm gonna throw this Bo Blacks a space to speak here. Okay, go ahead, Bo Black.
I don't have anything to
Talk
say.
about
I'm just
Sonic.
enjoying the conversation. Not gonna lie, I kind of muted half the panel and just toned out.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Which ones did you mute?
Who did you
I
mute?
put Pico on mute. I put Liberal Cluck on mute. I put Stabby on mute, and I put I think it was just those, but it was pretty quiet the whole time.
Okay,
all the three.
I'm not muted.
I'm not muted. Let's go. Woo!
He loves minorities. Whoa!
Let's go. Thank you for noticing. me, Mr.
Yeah,
Hopkins.
but yeah,
I'm
everyone's a
gonna-
grifter. That's my stance. I already said it. Like everyone's a fucking grifter.
I think that the
If,
defeat
if you want to make money, you can be not a grifter, but then you're just gonna be unsuccessful. So.
By the
I
way,
think-
Cisco, I think you're.
Wait, are
disgusting.
you
I
a
know people
grifter?
are afraid-
Nah, no, not really.
Everyone's a grifter? You were just like flexing all your followers to all of us before.
I mean, comparatively,
Yeah,
it's not like I'm a millionaire.
Well, then comparatively to us, then you are a grifter.
What amount of money makes somebody a grifter? Like how much success do you have to become a grifter?
You have to lie for money. That's the only thing. That's what a grifter is.
It's about
You have
lying.
to
No.
lie
But
for
he just said,
money.
no. He said everyone's
to
a grifter but
pretend
him.
to be into
And that he doesn't
something
make
for
enough.
money.
No. Dami Pestos.
That's called
Listen,
hyperbole.
Go
It's
Blacks
called hyperbole.
literally just now
Stupid
said,
cunt.
but he
It's called
He
hyperbole.
just said
Ugh.
everyone is a grifter but
It's
him.
called hyperbole.
And
You
then said it
stupid
doesn't matter.
fucking cunt. Oh my
No.
god.
Now we have to ask.
What a stupid
Now we have to
cunt.
ask, what
So
about
stupid.
the money makes him more
My
of a
brain
grifter or less
cells
of a
are
grifter?
dying. My brain is becoming.
Well, it
You've
was
been giggling like
hyperbole,
a
but
hyena the
as
whole
an
night, you
autistic
don't have
man, I understand not getting that. So.
Can I just say, chat? I am not a grifter.
You call
I've
her
been-
autistic.
I've been very, very open, chat,
I'm
that I
autistic.
want your money. Okay, so I am not a grifter. So please give me money. Okay, continue.
No, I mean,
Become a grifter
on the real, like, it's pretty easy to just see, like, who's a grifter or not. Like, is it really,
Yeah.
like, that hard? Like, obviously, if someone's making, let's say, videos repairing car engines, and they get really famous doing it, are they a grifter? No. Like, how can you grift on car engine? Well, maybe if you get, like, sponsored by specific companies or whatever, but then in that case, you could kind of tell
you
if
have
he's
to
starting to
fake
promote shitty
repairs.
fucking car engines.
My-
Are you
my-
serious? You know how many
money,
people?
right?
You know how many
Well,
like
he can't
product
hear you.
reviewers and people? Wait, he can hear
I
me.
love
No,
those
oh,
videos.
can he? Can he?
I
He
absolutely
muted
love
you.
those advertising
I actually
videos
don't
though.
know.
The like power wash streamers and like that they do the details of the cars and they started making a crap ton of money so they could expand their business.
Yeah,
That's
that's
my
the-
fucking
Yeah,
favorite.
no,
yeah, that's awesome shit. But I think the best
He's
test.
a fucking idiot. I mean, listen, he just said like I don't understand how product reviewers could ever be grifters. That's like the most prominent examples. Think about all like the video
Wait,
game reviewers.
Did you listen to anything I said, dumbass?
You said
No, he
repair
didn't.
guys.
You're not muted anymore.
Yeah, and,
Yeah,
and,
repair
also,
are not
and then I
reviewers.
also had the
Repairs are
caveat
not
of, well,
reviewers.
with certain
Unless they do.
sponsors,
So
he
the
could.
grifters,
Like,
unless
he
they aren't.
could,
Good
but the
point.
video,
Yeah, I guess all non-grifter repair people are not grifters. You
I-
really
Yeah.
Really said something of substance here.
I think the best. So I think the best way to like basically smell out a grifter is if you know they're smart enough, and you're like making an argument, and their argument implies something. It implies some kind of end result, and then you ask them about that, and they just refuse to answer, and they just say that's stupid. What a stupid question.
Yeah.
But if like sure, so that mean you could attribute that to ignorance, or if you know them well enough and you know they're smart enough, well then I think at that point you can attribute it to malice.
Oh, there's
to
a really good
grifting.
example of this lactoid. Did you watch? I don't know if you watched it, but it was a conversation about sexual ethics, I think, and pornography that that Destiny had with like a woman
Oh
who
no, no,
um,
Destiny.
who like was very much bought into the porn is bad, porn is immoral thing.
Yeah.
And they
See,
went into
I
like,
I had a
why.
debate like that pretty recently, something like that.
Oh, are you one of the banned porn people?
Maybe, but keep going, keep talking.
Okay. Well, so anyway, like the questions were like sort of dilated and concentrated and focused on seeing like what is different about sexual related graphic images and pornography versus anything else. And she was unwilling to go down those trains because, and my conclusion from that has to be, well, for 10 years, you've cultivated an audience on porn is inherently exploitative and negative. And if you're not willing to bite those bullets and go down those trains, it's because you want to preserve that audience. That's some kind of like circumstantial proof that I would take of grifting.
100%. But I have one question for you as well. Vosh once said, and I'll pull it up if he ever questions it. But he once said that he would lie politically.
Oh, no.
He would lie politically in order to advance like a broader political agenda, right? But that broader political agenda is what he actually wants. Is that grifting if the end goal is not money, but the end goal is some kind of like political change that makes it necessary to lie?
I think the answer is no. I think the answer is no, because that to me is sort of like I don't know, some kind of Hitlerian Goebbels like yeah, we'll believe the contradiction, we'll believe the lie. The lie is in service to the end being whatever the state or I understood Vosh say something like, well, I think a smarter thing that Vosh could have said is like, if it's the case that we're in this Watchmen-like scenario where you need the lie in order to preserve a non-nuclear war or something like that, that would make sense. But he actually went one step further. It's like, no. Anytime I see some political advantage, I will lie.
I know.
I don't think that is a grift. I think it's just a dedication to lying for political ends.
But if somebody does that, can you trust? Can you ever trust them again? I don't.
No,
No.
I think the answer is no.
No.
But I don't think it's a grift because Vosh is pretty clearly a utilitarian, and it's consistent with his moral framework, anyways.
No,
to
it
do
has to
something
be a
like that.
grift. If he wants to promote any type of political action or movement,
It-
Well,
he
then
talks too much
he would
about
be-
child pornography and pedophilia.
He would
does
be
I don't
what
think it is.
in
I
the
think
moment.
we would characterize the grift unless we know, and you
Because
might
it's
actually think of this as Vosh, if
detrimental
it's
to
for
his
money.
objective, right? So if he has the objective and then he does the opposite of what he served his objective, because a lot of people might consider what he has to say if he didn't spam
The
all
ultimate
this
objective being
pedophilia
money, right?
shit.
The ultimate objective being money. If you believe Vosh's ultimate end is money, then I guess I'd agree with you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
okay, I mean, and I think that's a fair. I don't know, Lacto. Do you believe that?
I mean, if
I'd
he
be
wants
willing
the
to prove that.
money,
So
right?
it's so tough, right? Because I almost think that if he genuinely believes that, then he's actually being pretty honest and coming out and saying
He is
that he
being
would
honest.
lie, because the smart thing to do would be to lie about the fact that you would ever lie
Yes.
if you actually wanted
I'll
it to be.
never lie.
Yeah, of course I'll never lie. Right? That's what you'd want to say if you actually believe this. So that makes me actually wonder, like, if he actually believes it, or if he's just smart enough to lie when it politically suits him, except for that one time. I don't fucking know, right?
I think a person like that believes that their dedication to that particular political ideal or that philosophical position, that all loyalty, no matter what, even if it requires lying, is the problem. And the reason I don't trust them, I didn't even get to the lying bit yet, but the reason I don't trust them is because I see a complete lack of principle within it. And when you're talking about philosophically like this particular idea, then I can't see where the person's principles are, so I don't trust them before I even get to the lying stage. I think that's where mine comes in. That's kind of gross. You can have principles and not ever actually fail those principles, and you can still be loyal, but then have boundaries. And it's just very weird to me that
Although I want to
one
make
wouldn't.
space for like the lie when it's I think it would be stupid to say I'm committed to these political principles no matter what the
Right.
cost is on the other hand, right? I'm totally indifferent to how much damage would be done by the truth. Like I could put the truth up to, equal the end of the human race, and you'd be like, I'm still committed to the truth no matter what.
Where's your line?
I think that is well, there's some line, there's some reasonable line, and I can't draw it specifically, but otherwise you're committed to positions like I will tell the truth even when all of the universe ends, or even when it ends in my family being, tortured and killed forever. That to me is like almost like a nihilist, or like you don't really care about anything, right?
Well, I think most people's line,
principle, right?
most people's line is way below that, right? So like,
Sure, yeah.
if the Gestapo comes to your house and like, are you hiding Jews? The answer is going to be no, even if you are. Is that grifting? I mean, I don't.
Yes.
What about when somebody asks you, "Do I look good in this shirt?" when they don't, and you just don't want to hurt their feelings? Like
That's actually an interesting one.
If they're your boss, it's grifting.
I've heard arguments that that's actually like one of the more corrosive kind of lies, in that if it's later found out that you're just white lying all the time, one is you have to like constantly remember. One is you're not giving the people opportunity to prove themselves if they're a little fat, or if they actually doesn't look good for them. It might. But if you like end up getting a reputation for those kind of white lies, or if you aren't able to tell your friends with certainty and where they have the confidence that you're giving them their honest opinion, I think that it actually ruins your relationship. So I think that it's actually one of the worst kinds of lies you can do interpersonally, the white lies.
The
What
easiest
about
place to see
what
fucking
about
lies
lies
of
and
omission?
grifting people is the red pill community. Fuck the political fucking shit. The red pill motherfuckers, 99.9% of them are grifting. I genuinely don't
Yeah.
think most of those guys believe the shit that they say. There is no way. Most of them just say it because it fucking pays. It really pays them well. So
Yeah.
those
You
are
mean
that's the
wait.
greatest
You mean the leaders? You mean the leaders, not the like people in forums on Reddit and in comment sections and stuff like
we're
that.
talking about the ones that are actually fucking broadcasting.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, we're not
content
talking
they
about
actually
Joe
believe.
Schmo in the
The
comments.
content
like-
creators.
It depends on the creator. I mean, this is like with every subject. You have a whole bunch of people that are. I agree with you.
Never seen an
Peterson
honest one,
believes
I'll
his
be honest.
stuff.
I think like Peterson could be an example. I know some people think he's a grifter. I actually think he's way more honest than like some other people who are in that sphere that are just like, yeah, get laid, fuck women. Like I think those are grifters for sure. They're just basically appealing in the same way fucking like what's the fucking industry called where like they get all the people below them and then they get people below them, like a pyramid scheme. Yeah, MLMs. Like, these fucking most of these I think red pill people are just like MLM, basically. But I don't think some of them are. I think Jordan Peterson's an example of someone who.
It's funny that Andrew Tate reminds me of like one of those girls on Instagram who sells the
Lululemon, right? Like, is he like he's like the
yeah.
male version of a Lululemon person? She's like, listen, believe in yourself, girl boss, let's go. And you're like, ugh, he like reminds me of that. It's so gross.
Yeah, buy my course, my Hustlers University, $50 a month. It'll teach you everything you need to know. Get your friends to sign up.
I swear to God, if they have a course to sell you, that's my fucking test. Does this person have something to sell me? Why is he telling me that I am this alpha male if I just buy his fucking course and I learn how to be an alpha male?
Exactly.
I want to give Pisco a chance here because I know he has to leave soon. Did you want to shout yourself out, Pisco?
Yeah, sure. Pisco 95. I don't have 300 bajillion followers, but we sometimes we usually talk about like law-related topics, the First Amendment stuff, Section 230, all that comes up a lot in the context of whether or not the government is right to, regulate these platforms like Twitter and other things. Those are like kind of tangential topics to what we were talking about today. As for the grifting stuff, I think we do a lot of discussions about hypocrisy as well, especially as it relates to like justices and judges and stuff. So if you're interested in that, Pisco95 on Twitch. But thanks a lot for the conversation. To Bo Blacks and Dame Pesos and everyone else, or Carantas, everyone else I yell to.
Everyone else.
No hard feelings. I don't.
Yeah,
no
same
hard
here.
feelings.
Like I
It's
wish
all
you
good.
luck on your channel, and you do have some
Thanks.
smart things to say, even though I disagree with
sure.
a lot of it.
Yeah.
Pisco, before
Much
you
love
go,
to all of you. Yeah.
Pisco, before you go, I want to have a one-on-one conversation with you sometime in the
Yeah.
future. I'm gonna hit you up.
100%. Join the Piscord.
Is that what
Not
it's
named by
called?
me. The Piscord. That's what I meant. I'm Peruvian, so and Peru, there's a liquor called Pisco, and that's where the name comes from.
Nice.
No, yeah, it's not that. But
It's
thanks a
another
lot. Much
lefty
love.
peak, and it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stardust, for hosting us.
Thank you so much for joining. I know it was very
Have a good one.
chaotic, but I appreciate you having.
That's part of the appeal, though. That's part of the appeal.
Yeah.
Much love. Bye bye.
Catch you later,
I've
Pisco.
got to go too. I appreciate
Okay.
being invited. Lactoid, I feel like you and I would probably have a good conversations also. I think we probably disagree on some things maybe.
If you're left, we will find things to disagree about. I
Yeah,
promise you.
that was the feeling I was getting. I appreciate everyone. It was a good time. Y'all have a good night.
Yep,
Thanks.
have a good
Thanks
night.
for
We'll see
joining
ya.
us. I really appreciate it.
Good night.
Bye.
Look at
Are
that.
you half Ukrainian, Lactoid? What's up with the Ukraine flag?
That's not a Ukrainian flag.
What the fuck is it then?
He loves Ukraine. He hates Russia.
Just because
Oh my
it's yellow
gosh.
and blue does not make
It's
it
an
Ukrainian.
SJW.
Yes.
It's like he's not a lefty, but what the fuck is the Ukraine flag doing in his room next to the American flag? What the fuck?
That's Ukrainian.
Pisco, thank you for the raid,
Yes.
Pisco.
Okay, why the fuck?
Jeez.
That's Swedish, right? Why the fuck is this Swedish?
That is Swedish. I'm Swedish.
What the fuck?
Let's go.
This doesn't make any
You're
sense.
Swedish. What the
British
fuck?
fucking
What?
immigrants,
What
dude.
the fuck?
Dual nationalities? There's no way.
Disgusting. You have multiple personalities. Pick one.
Dual traitor.
Pick one. There should only be
Traitor.
one uniform
How
race.
dare
That's what
you.
the right believes in, right? Let's go.
This is why American patriotism is fake. Because they're either Irish, Italian, Swedish, somewhere in Africa.
They're fake.
Fucking fake. All of
They're
you.
grifters. Every American's a grifter.
All of
Listen.
you are fake.
So I don't
Gross.
look. Not I am a fan. I am a big fan of flags. I got like 20 other flags. But the reason this is up is because it's not like an ethnic, like a genetic thing. I have a dual citizenship, right? So I'm legally Swedish and legally American.
Yeah.
So what, you
Do you
were
have an
born there, you were raised in
LGBTQ flag?
America,
Do you have a
that's why-
rainbow one?
No,
The
You should
flags
get
are
one.
your
I got a lot of Gadsden flags though. That's for sure.
Flamenco, welcome to the panel, by the way.
Hello.
Oh
Hi,
god.
Flamenco.
I was watching some of this. It looks like it was a proper shit show and fun stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
This
Dude,
is why it is my actual philosophy that if I'm ever on a Discord chat or if I'm ever in one of these, I am always sewing so that I got something done and I don't think it's a complete waste of time.
By the way,
What are
Oh,
you
I
saying about my
wasted my
show? What the
time.
fuck?
Nobody asked. Keep sewing. Nobody asked.
Disrespecting
You're the one
my
who
show.
talked.
You're
Yeah.
sorry.
Disrespecting
Fuck you.
my
How
show.
dare you?
This is a serious panel, for your information.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like we all got
Very
mixed
serious.
messages coming in here because like Pico and everyone was ready to go like full on fucking politics. I didn't even know this was a political panel. I thought
Well,
it was just about.
no, it's not. It's not
Cultural.
political. It's political. I've said to people, it's not really a political panel. It is kind of like it's a debate panel, but we talk about politics, we talk about cultural stuff, we talk about social
Yeah.
issues, we talk about drama. I think some people had the impression that it was political, even though I've said it's not strictly political because they're used to seeing me in the politics sphere. So but I want this to be more like
Yeah.
broad range of topics.
You're gonna make me look right wing. Fuck Stardust. What the hell? Having me
I
have
look
to-
right wing. People think I don't know. I look right wing too. People are gonna but I don't know, man. It's weird.
Yeah,
I
people are
wouldn't-
gonna think I'm
What's
right
wrong
wing
with
'cause
being
I'm not-
right
Who's
wing?
calling you right wing?
There's nothing wrong with
I
it.
mean, there's nothing
nobody
wrong
on
with
this
it.
channel
There's
is
nothing
right-wing.
wrong with it. I'm joking.
All right,
There's nothing
good.
wrong with it.
Of being
No,
a
I
right wing.
genuinely
Ugh.
don't think
It's
there's
the
anything-
only
I was just-
right opinion.
Goddamn right.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I mean, I do have an issue obviously with like alt-right, like super extreme. But I do think it's kind of dumb that the internet demonizes like normal conservatives into being analogous to Nazis. Like there's a spectrum, right? Like not everyone on the right is like I love Hitler, but people
Yeah.
act that way. It's kind of insane.
I think
Yeah.
the vast majority of the bad conservatives on Twitter or in internet spaces is like actually just the people you're all like, oh, grandpa's doing it again. And it's kind of cute. And I think that that's as evil as those people actually get. And it's not even evil. They're just kind of old
Oh,
and dumb.
Dame Pesos is leaving. Bye, Dame
What?
Pesos.
Bye.
I'm
Wait.
Oh,
leaving.
bye, Dame.
No, you said bye
Or-
in the group chat. I thought you were leaving.
Ah.
Oh, I think he was saying
Oh, you're
goodbye
telling
to
someone else bye.
Pisco.
To
Pisco.
Pisco.
I
I
didn't.
just
Oh, you're saying hi to
impromptu.
Pisco. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean.
I
to
mean,
thought
if
do
you
that.
want
Stardust
me out, you can just
impromptu like
No,
decided
leave,
to
wrong
no,
want
guy,
to
no,
kick.
no,
whatever.
don't leave, don't leave, don't
They
leave,
kick me
Dominic. I'm so
out.
sorry. I'm not kicking you out. I'm so sorry. I thought
Enough
you
of this
said
taco.
bye and it confused me. I'm sorry. I
Let him
would,
out.
yeah. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Yeah. No, I think, generally, like, I get along with conservatives online a little bit more than I do with like other libs. But I don't know. I think yeah, I think people do demonize conservatives online a little bit too much. It's like you
Yeah.
guys are
Yeah.
freaking out. So
Well,
I get
thank
hit
you.
for authority.
This whole like team sports, like I get it and it's cool for like discussions or whatever, but like I don't like this whole like I'm only gonna be friends with left wing people or I'm only gonna be
Yeah.
friends with right wing people and anyone on the opposing political side or having different opinions than me is like objectively a horrible person. Like that's I just don't like that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Personally.
I guess that because you guys were talking about grifting, I think that's like one of the quintessential like cornerstones for grifting, at least in like the online political sphere, is generally framing your ideological opposites as like an existential and like actual genuine violent threat to your continued existence.
Whoa, wait. What the fuck is your background?
It is VTubers Amelia Watson and Gargura
At
in the
Columbine.
style of the
No.
Columbine shooting. Yes.
Oh no.
I swear to God, I was just
Flamenco!
looking. I swear to God, I was just
Flamenco,
looking at it right
no!
now. I swear to God.
Why?
It's
Why
just,
you
it's
have
just one of my more
anime?
funny. It's one of my more funny images. I
We
love this
literally
You
image
have
so
have
much.
anime Columbine.
He
literally have
must
a
be a lefty.
panelist.
He must be a. He must be a lefty.
We literally have a panelist here in a ski mask and sunglasses, and your background makes you more
I
sus
know.
than him. Okay.
Yeah.
Why am I surrounded by fucking books?
He's
I
gonna
genuinely
have
love it.
anime
I
ass
genuinely love it.
wigs.
Oh God.
He's gonna
Dude,
have
you guys just fucking
Sakura-chan
use the
during
towers.
9/11.
I swear to God, I was looking at it. I was like, imagine if this was the 9/11 background.
God, I could find that one. The one
It
where
will
it's
work.
like the anime girl flying the plane into the towers.
Oh
Oh my
no.
God! Please.
Go for
Flamenco
go
no.
2 for 2. Go 2 for 2 right now. Go
Flamenco
2 for 2.
no. Well, Flamenco got Stardust
You're
banned.
not on the
It's
kill stream
over.
anymore, buddy. Come on.
I can't
Yeah.
do that. I'm a brown person in America. I can't make jokes like that about 9/11 or whatever. They'll take it serious.
I mean, Columbine was like
Oh my
22 years
God.
ago. I think you're allowed to make fun of it now.
No, I don't
No,
think so. I'm
no
not taking my
flamenco.
chances. I'm not taking my chances.
Put something normal flamenco.
Okay. Hold on.
He's gonna put something worse.
Not voice soprano. Not voice soprano. Don't
The
put voice
Rwanda
soprano.
genocide.
He's
I
gonna
got
put
the,
something worse. It's gonna
I'm gonna
happen.
find the
Please,
I'm gonna find the
God.
billboard that I'm gonna make a pilgrimage to.
This motherfucker said the Rwandan genocide.
I don't want to get controversial, man. Look, that's all.
No, I'm not gonna post. Well, I don't like gore anyway, so I'm not gonna post any gore shit. That's
Oh, I hate that shit, dude. Don't do that. Don't do that.
yeah.
Yeah. Something
So,
normal
Flamenco, did you
flamenco.
wanna-
Here, I'll do. Is this one better? Is this one better? It's just that with their
No.
little pew pew guns.
The Lactoid approves. He approves.
Better.
Do you want to comment
Better.
on any of the topics, Flamenco?
Oh, like I said, like one of the cornerstones of grifting is generally framing your ideological opposites as like existential and immediate threats to like just general livelihood, or like they're gonna go out and kill you. You know what I mean?
Here's a good question.
Because like I would say that like I would say that's like my tried and true. It's like, yeah, I would say the Young Turks are probably grifters. Cenk really plays that shit
Yeah.
up. Whenever there's like a mass shooting, almost like really like gleefully hoping that it's like a white dude or some shit. Which is really fucking weird. Although oddly enough, I would actually say that it's the opposite for somebody like Vosh, who I think because his whole like thing right now is you gotta like take pot
Babies?
shots at the no that comes later. You gotta take pot shots at the MAGA crowd as they're like driving around Main Street or some shit. Which is more in line with some of the shit that he said before he got famous, and he had to like tone it down before he got in trouble for Fed posting essentially.
What do you think
What
about
is that? What if that is Fed posting?
Taking random shots at people driving down the street that are wearing MAGA hats.
Probably a pretty bad thing to advocate for, I would say.
Yeah, that like anything that's direct calls to like immediate violence like that is generally Fed
Are
posting.
they the same guys that fucking attacked Jussie Smollett? Are they the same guys in the MAGA hats? Then they deserve it.
The two Nigerian dudes, probably. Sure.
The two
Are we
Nigerians, they
implying?
deserve it.
Wait. Are we implying the Fed is after MAGAs?
The Federal Reserve?
No. The
The
federal government
FBI.
is against. Right? Are we saying they're coming
No,
after?
no. Fed posting.
Okay, all right.
Sorry. Fed posting is a colloquial term whenever somebody says something that is something that like a federal informant would say to try to generate enough fervor to get people to go out and do illegal shit.
Like a
Yeah,
glowy.
or
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. What about Flamenco? What did you think about safe spaces?
He
I
loves
guess
them.
I guess if people want to have those, I guess I don't really fucking care. I think you're gonna get into some like weird segregation talk though eventually after like you get into like the racial safe space shit. So
I have seen online. The internet is like and I think that this was actually like, funnily enough, JF Gary was talking about this, surprisingly. Was talking about how the Fediverse is like a fractioning, or it's like a fracturing of the internet, because all of these different Fediverse instances will block each other, and then you've got like these little closed off spaces on the internet. And so instead of it being what people claim it was, that it was this that it was meant to be this free speech avenue, that now the Fediverse is actually like hyper fractured in a whole bunch of different safe spaces. So
oh yeah, no, there's like a lot of like Fediverse infighting drama shit over some like really petty shit, and it's a fucking pain in the ass. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I mean, everyone technically has a safe space when they're in DMs with people or a group chat with somebody, right? That's a safe space between those people. Like, I don't know. I don't think the concept of safe spaces is inherently bad.
Yeah. That's true.
Another safe space would be a Discord server where you have your own sets of rules, and as long as every server is following the rules for Discord TOS, like you can add things to that, and curate your space as well.
Or
Or
like a
another
Twitch
safe
chat or a
space.
YouTube chat.
Yeah. Or a city hall or a fucking country where there are rules that everybody has to follow and everybody gets their own home. At this point, every place is a safe space if we keep going on. We went from Twitter fucking DMs to Discord to Twitch chat. The whole idea of safe spaces is fucking retarded.
Well, a
The only
safe
Oh
space
no,
is a
not
space
people
where
in
you can.
houses. How terrifying.
Wait,
The stupid,
a
the
safe
stupid
no.
idea that you go on a fucking public, open fucking platform like Twitter, for example, and then demand the safe space. You fucking spineless.
Okay.
fuckboy.
Oh,
Go
the
fucking
difference
lock
between
yourself
a
in your room with
Discord
no
server
Wi-Fi.
rules and
keep,
like
So
keep
can I
going.
go? Can I
general
go to your Discord?
Twitter.
Q. Can I go to your Discord and say whatever the fuck I want about you because you're like
Yes.
one of the greatest things ever? Okay,
Yes.
and you're just going to put up with it, and you're fine with it.
Yes.
You clearly
Are you
no,
agreeing?
listen, when
Are you
I-
agreeing in front of everyone right now that I will never be banned from your server?
God
Because I
bless your
can
low
make this
IQ.
miserable.
God bless your low IQ. Listen to me. I literally said, as long as you're fucking following the rules, right? There are rules. You don't break the rules. You're good. Done. Who cares?
Well,
What creative
Have a
use of
problem?
What are the
Isn't a
rules?
safe
Yeah,
space-
what
Yeah,
if
you have a safe space.
yeah, what if I made the rules like no conservatives? Like that's a rule. Just don't break the
Yeah,
rules,
the
forehead.
rules are not
True.
offend me.
You
Don't
know what
offend
to
me.
say? You know what
Don't
to
say
say?
mean
No,
things
wait,
about
I'll
me.
take this right now. Fine. Yes.
No
That's
rules.
a safe space.
No. If you
Yes.
don't want it, sure. If that's what constitutes a safe space, then go have your space. But you can't come to the fucking place where we all share together and then start imposing what you want. Then tell me, oh, this place had an X, I want to change it to Y. We can't fucking do that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's
I
what I'm
agree.
saying. The
Yeah.
idea of going
That
to
wouldn't be
this
a safe
fucking
space. That would be a
platform,
public space.
But here's what people do. They bitch and moan about these fucking public spaces and they try to make it in their own liking. That's what I have a problem against. If you want me to be more nuanced, I'll say if you want your safe space, you could go have it in your own fucking corner that you fucking created. But don't come where the rest of us are and start bitching that you don't feel fucking safe when you willingly came in here, when you can actually fucking block the person that's fucking bullying you. Is that what's that GTRP dude? Chaos Adam. I saw the shit that came out that his girlfriend released. Some fucking vile shit. But the whole time that I was fucking listening to the recordings and reading the messages, I thought, is this dumb and dumber? Is this retard and more retarded? Why the didn't she just walk in and move on with her life? And then I kept reading, and then she was like, "Apparently, he was threatening self harm. I was worried for him." And at the same time, he's telling her, "I wish I fucking beat you more. I fucking
My
hate you."
God.
Jesus.
Holy
I'm like,
shit.
if the
Jeez.
person that's telling me that shit is threatening self harm, like, hey, buddy, good luck. And I'll fucking block them. Do I give a fuck about you? This idea that people are suddenly fucking trapped with their fucking emotionally abusive fucking ex partners because they're worried about them is the most retarded shit. Call somebody that actually cares about them, because I promise you, you don't. I promise you, this woman didn't, because that fucking dude was satanic. The type of shit that he was fucking telling her, I wouldn't say to my worst fucking enemy. Yet she didn't block him because she was afraid he's gonna cut himself.
That's why it's
You
great we
fucking
have
do-
these safe space tools
That's
to
pretty
block
shitty,
that
but-
out.
How about you just
Yeah.
block him? That's your safe space.
So, wait.
That's what
So-
I'm
so-
saying. That's
so-
what we've all been saying.
Right. As to safe spaces, though, I think the important question is: are they coming up places where they shouldn't? Specifically, public universities, places that we all pay,
Yeah.
and that are supposed to be places where you go and like have ideas challenged. That's the whole idea. And you have like student groups there that are designating free speech zones, and like large swaths of public land are now like safe spaces where certain political opinions can't be discussed. I mean, that's crazy, right? That's
That
the part
is
where
crazy.
now we're beyond like your own little private club. Now we're talking about like you're taking my tax dollars
Yeah.
and on fucking public land, and you're saying we can't talk about this shit here because it offends you. That's crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but conversely, there is like I guess some exceptions that could be made for like groups that are for specific purposes. Like I don't think that a debate on like the merits of Islam is probably the most appropriate discussion to be having at a Bible study group or some shit like that. You know what I mean? So I think that there's like a limit to that, and like you can have certain areas for like certain things. or,
yeah,
like,
it's
certain-
it,
But the general climate should be of like a general free for all with obviously rules of like don't
yeah.
threaten to kill people and shit.
It should be it's completely based on the space. Like for example, if a large public area in the university is being taken up for an event that's only going to last a couple hours, then that can have whatever rules it wants and be a safe space and whatever. But like at the end of it, like that space should publicly be available for anyone to do whatever. Like the spaces need to be used properly. If
Right.
there's like extra rooms for clubs or whatever, use it for that. But don't don't turn the whole university into a safe space where like half the time you walk into a fucking room and you can't say jack shit.
Right. The concept here is freedom of speech is supposed to be you are free to like engage with and to grapple with ideas. This is not the same thing as the heckler's veto, where you just go in and scream over people, because what you're doing there is quite literally stopping the exchange of ideas. So it's I think it's perfectly fine if people want to have like their Bible study or their college Republicans or college Democrats meetings or whatever the hell. But they can do that, and they can have their little space for a few hours, and then that's maybe they have spaces that are set aside for that. But the main like public areas in these universities where you're supposed to be able to walk around and sit with people and talk with them, the fact that you can't have certain political discussions is just crazy.
That is
If you
insane.
guys
I agree.
if you guys don't mind,
we
I'm
had
gonna read.
we had the idea.
Sorry, if you guys don't mind, I just want to read a few super chats because some people submitted them. So I'll go through them really quickly. Okay. Tipster for $5 says, "Is this Supernova or Spurt Alert? I can't tell the difference. I'm so confused." He also says, "Stop silencing the Burrito Man." Shin Chan says, "There are some funny sports and handicap leagues. I think some of the people making them are trolling them, like blind person wall ball. Hilarious."
Oh my
That's-
god. No, that can't be real. That
Do they
can't
have
be
that?
real.
Oh, fuck.
Mr. Wu King says, "You can't keep the brown down. Ja 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 ja."
Fuck yeah,
Le-
baby.
Yeah. Lemon Trashy says I eat poop and I'm a homosexual. Okay, that's weird.
Well, I want to engage. I want to engage with. I want to engage with that question because that's a very
He
interesting
must
question.
be Swedish. He
Yeah.
must be
Wait,
Swedish.
he's a
Let's have
homosexual and
debate
eats
about
poop?
gay and poo poo. Let's have an intellectual debate.
Did you really want to engage with it?
No.
Yeah, we
No.
need liberal Cluck and Pico
Why
back
is
in
he
here to
that
like
way?
go in
Clip
depth
his
about
face right
like
there. Someone clip his fucking face right there and make that a clip. He's like, no.
Okay,
Do it.
Alex says Stardust the only non-grifter here. TBH, so true. King, give me money. Ride for $5 says the idea of safe spaces creates the thought that anywhere but those places are unsafe. It creates a false fear of regular dialogue. So
Can I engage with that one?
yeah,
Because that's what I was
No.
going to say. Okay, so there is one safe space that I think we're going to confront here very soon, very shortly. There is no way to separate kids from the internet, and we absolutely don't want the age of 18 when they get absolutely deluged with all of this fucking trash. So they're going to have some level of literacy. But I think one of the things we're going to have to start seeing is, during daytime hours, I think parents are going to start to get a little more strenuous on which spaces kids are in. I think that we're going to see a huge difference on people going, okay, let's just talk about kids being able to access TikTok. Okay, let's just talk about it for a minute. So I do think that there should be a safe space, considering age group. I also think that there should be a truncated and more intuitive access to the internet for the elderly in elderly care facilities or in any place where they're going to spend a lot of their daytime activities because they don't really understand the internet. Some of the stuff that they're going to get can make them unreasonably upset. I think that there has to be a lot that we're doing to assist if these people want to be safer online. And I think a lot of parents are going to be seeking things like that. So when it comes to safe spaces, I do think it's going to be more along the lines of our kids and what they're seeing and some of the more damaging things. And I think that that's okay. I think safe spaces, because I'm a woman and a feminist, I get yelled at in feminist spaces a lot because I guess I'm a sexist, I suppose.
Oh no,
I think sexist
Corantos
jokes
is
are funny.
dead. You killed him.
Yeah, I think sexist jokes are funny sometimes. I admit that there's a difference in strength between men and
You
women,
killed the
and
black
usually so I
guy.
can throw it.
He's dead.
Uh,
Look at him.
what?
Look at Corantos.
Anyway,
He's dead. You killed
oh,
him.
that's a shame. Now he's probably napping. He needed a nap earlier. That's why he was crying like a toddler. So it's fine. Leave him asleep. Nobody wake him up.
He does
Shh.
that sometimes.
Anyway, so I just think that safe spaces are something we need to consider for certain aspects of things, not for everything. Like if you are uncomfortable, oh well, kind of grow up, basically.
Yeah, I agree. I think like a cool idea, like because you were bringing up TikTok, would be like a kids version of the app that's like more sanitized, has less predatory ads or whatever. Because YouTube already does that with YouTube Kids, and I'm sure that's like really helpful for parents. I'm not sure because I'm not a parent yet, but yeah. So do you think we should just have more like kind of kid versions of apps and maybe elder version of apps?
I think an old
Well,
an
no,
old
no, no.
person app would be
Help.
hilarious, right? Just post after post of like all caps talking about like their
Yeah,
like
like
their
a
last
monster.
liver illness. Yeah, it's just fucking.
Somebody does those dance trends, and then we see a climb in hip breakages. Ugh.
Half the users are dead.
I mean, let's be fair.
Uh,
We should probably, like, honestly, have a hard like age cutoff for certain areas. On like, I don't think that children under the age of 18 should be on Discord servers with people above the age of 18. I think
True.
that like invites
I agree with
way too many fucking weird and creepy shit going on. Like 100%, I'd be all for that. If there has to be like a
Great
segregated
idea.
age
I'll
area for like these websites, that would probably be like a lot better thing than like, if you have, 12-year-olds on TikTok and then like weirdos creeping on them or some shit. Like it's
100%.
yeah, I think that these places should be
I don't fuck
segregated.
with access, by
Kids
the way.
should be allowed access to the internet, and they should like learn how to use it, because it will be to their detriment if they don't. But they don't need to be interacting with adults.
Just
on the
a
internet,
kid's
honestly.
internet. They need a
I
kid's
agree.
internet.
I think that'd be
As a
great
parent,
for them. Yeah.
Invex says look up COPPA laws, which make it illegal for children under 13 to have social media accounts. I've never heard of that before.
Oh yeah, some
I want to
fucking
hear what
weird
Stabby
on
has to say because
Twitter.
she's a parent.
I mean, we've all been on those sites where you need to be 18 to continue.
Yeah.
And you weren't fucking 18. So it's all nice to say, hey, listen, I don't want anybody who's under 18 on Discord with over 18-year-olds. But how the fuck do you enforce that shit?
Yes, but
How
were
could
you
you enforce it?
grifting?
Also,
How could you
also
enforce that?
13 years old is pretty fucking. That's pretty young.
Okay, I think
You gotta
13 is
enforce
pretty
that
young.
shit.
I
So
think
it's
I
whatever.
think the way that we can handle that though is that I really do think parents need more control. I think that when it comes to like, I know we're gonna get it wrong. I'll bite that bullet. I can't stand that there are parents who are trying to harm their kids. They're all like, no, you have to go to church or they'll send them to conversion camp. And we should have protection for children for things like that. But at the same time, I think we need a bigger stance from parents to step in. And I think I should have access to my kids' social media. My rule, they have each of my kids have an artist Instagram that's completely locked down and I have full control. I know the phone number of the other kids in our area, part of art classes, part of their school, that are allowed to actually be friends with them. And I like don't let anything else through because I want to keep them safe. And that's my job. And my son's 17. So I'm starting to let go of some of it with him. And I'm scared shitless, but I don't want to be like a helicopter bomb. Um, so we're discussing things, especially when one of his friends sent something really shitty to him. And it's difficult, it's embarrassing, but like
I thought the
I
child
need
was
that
7, not 17. Lord have mercy. When this kid goes off to college, is GG. Is
I
GG.
mean,
my son is 17 and
that sounds
my
genuinely
daughter is 14.
reasonable though, especially if like all the fucking like weirdos on the internet, like 100%. That's like super fucking reasonable, honestly.
Oh,
Like, you
Yeah,
wouldn't,
I'm
you
not
wouldn't,
trying to.
you wouldn't
imagine this.
you
Imagine
wouldn't,
this.
you wouldn't
Two
let your,
just
you wouldn't let
fucking.
your 16-year-old daughter like date a 27-year-old or some shit. Like,
Well,
so
the
you
first
know.
time there was a
You
mistake
can't
and
add what we
somebody,
just said. Come on.
Let's
the
There's
first
no.
time we
turn
had a
this in.
mistake though,
Yep.
the first time we had a mistake though is when my daughter drew something and she was holding it up in like and she placed a school photo and I was like, okay, let's just have the camera pointing at your art because a former school friend from an earlier grade, the person, there was a man in the house who was like who friended and I was like, this must be safe. And it wasn't. He made a comment. My daughter was 12 at the time, and he made a comment about how cute she was and how like, oh, you're looking really good in that photo and stuff. And I was like, oh fuck. And I like had a heart attack because I didn't know what it was going to be about. I was
Pedophile.
like, okay, new rule, like new rule. All images I want faced at your art because that's safe. And when you're older, you can start doing that. But like that, the way you felt creeped out by that, like that's okay to feel creeped out. We don't know if it was criminal, but let's not do this again and let's just be safe. And so I have to have more social media control while also not being like an authoritarian parent at the same time. And that's, I think a lot of parents need to start exploring this. I think we need childcare experts to start weighing in. I think we need child psychologists to write books about this. It's about time we actually address this problem.
No, just to clarify, because like I guess to just make sure, Stabby, did you explain to your children why you do this specifically?
Yes, I did. I had like
Okay.
I had a long
Oh
conversation. Okay,
no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I
no,
was gonna
wanted to, I just wanted to make sure that like that was also out there because like some people might think it's like, oh, she's like super controlling, but she like probably talked to her kids about it.
yeah,
It's like,
let's
hey,
let's
we're
let's
doing this because like
No,
it's
they're controlling.
scary out
okay,
there.
It's not
okay,
changed
okay,
because they
okay.
explained it. It's still
Hey,
controlling if the child's
guys,
17 and she's monitoring every single
guys,
post on Instagram, everybody he friends. That is.
have friends, incoming
guys.
friend requests.
Yeah, let's not have a debate about
Please, of
Stabby's
course, please.
parenting.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just
Yeah.
assume she's a good mom, and I'm sure she is. So let's just,
Yeah.
well, yeah, I don't want to have a debate about Stabby's parenting. Like, it's
Yeah,
not.
that's too
Yeah,
I think
personal.
I'm
that's
trying my best.
inappropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
too personal. Come on.
yeah.
I think that's why I
But
said I think we need more like input from other people. There's all these books about how to find a mate. There's all these books about the best kind of disciplinary actions for your child. Where are everybody's complaining? Where are the fucking books where we're actually discussing this particular thing, you know?
yeah,
They
I
probably don't
think
exist because all these things happened within the last like 7 years.
More than that, though.
authors get to writing, but yeah. Do you think, as a parent, I'm curious. Like, do you think there's enough tools online, with these social media platforms to monitor your kids, or is there any like tools in mind that you would love Instagram or like Twitter or whatever to have in order to help you have the tools to safeguard your kids online?
I think 18 plus needs verification. ID verification and parents actually signing in on it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Hey,
I
Yeah.
think if it's 18 plus and you're going to hit the little box, I do think that my son should be able to like do more online, and I think I should be able to back off completely. Unfortunately, there's a lot of shit that 18 plus might mean, and I hate to say it like this. Um, 18 plus might mean that my son sees a very pretty woman, like not very clothed, and that's something that he's going to seek. They found it with Playboy magazines under the bed. I don't want him to get access to that, but there's that. And then there's somebody sending him something that's 18 plus that's horrifically violent or disgusting or disturbing or actually a video of a crime. So since there's no way to actually differentiate between those two things, that this isn't really legal, but we're kind of okay with it, like this is kind of natural for kids. I don't want that to distract us from the fact that we should be able to verify which kids are accessing 18 plus. I 100% believe that.
I'll go further.
Into these fucking companies is crazy. Like, dude, I don't know why you're nodding your head, because you're worried about them controlling fucking speech and suppressing conservatives. Imagine if they have your fucking ID.
No,
That's-
so no.
What does that
Look.
do with your ID?
Hold on.
They already have your
Yeah,
ID.
yeah, yeah. They
When you go to the
No,
when you
no,
go to
don't
the
say
fu-
no.
when you
They
go to
have
the
a
fucking
fake
DMV,
email
they
ID.
have
Yes,
your ID.
I would actually do this through the
What about the
DMV.
ID?
I would actually do this through the DMV. I got a whole theory, right?
Student-
The DMV?
Yeah, doing
What?
it
Yes.
through student
No,
IDs,
take
like
us through
student.
it, like,
Oh
So
no.
no. Here's what.
Student IDs, the school can verify.
Well,
the school
we're-
can verify that ID belongs to them.
Well, so I'll go further, right? So bars and check your ID to make sure you're 21 or older when you come in. Strip clubs, all
Really?
adult stores, yeah, they all make sure you're 18 before they sell you the shit. I think it's perfectly rational that to go on
Really?
to go on pornography websites, you should have to verify that you're 18 plus. I don't think we should accept the fact that so many 11, 12, and 13-year-olds are going on these sites. And the way you would do it is the entity that already has all your information, right? The DMV, they will they'll send you a Google Authenticate code, and you can use that to log into porn sites if that's what you want to waste your time doing.
So the
But
DMV can
not for
track
kids
your
though.
fucking time online.
Let the state do it. Let the state
For
do their
no
fucking job.
no
my
kids.
God.
Yeah, do you want kids on these sites? I don't.
Yes.
Okay, or
I hate all of you.
Imagine this. Just like we put the responsibility on the safe space Andes to just block the people that are making them unsafe, let's put the responsibility on the parents.
What if the parents are shit?
Oh wow.
What if the parents are shit and now the kids are porn obsessed weirdos?
Okay,
The
all right.
You're
So
telling
hold
me that they
the
won't be able to
responsibilities-
circumvent your DMV solution? I promise you, if
The-
kids want to fucking get access to cooming shit, they will get access.
Yes,
to it.
and
The
kids and
responsibility is already with the parents, and the parents already are not necessarily doing what they're.
So help the parents. Help the
Stardust,
parents.
I want
get
to
better.
insert something in here. Karantos is over there, implying that I'm a helicopter parent, and now he's sitting here saying that you have to do something, but I was just wrong a minute ago, and now
Yeah.
he's saying I'm right.
Okay, okay. First of
not
all,
like
do
little
something
child.
does not mean
What?
do something does not mean treating your 17-year-old like he's a 2-year-old. Okay, when you
I
said
don't
this, I was
think
like,
he
this is
is.
reasonable. He's a 10-year-old. He's a 7-year-old. That's what I thought. You said 17. I was like,
When is the age that a child? When is so? You go ahead and tell me when is the age. So you go ahead and tell me when is the age you can show them pornographic material. Go ahead and let me know.
If you think
13.
what you're doing is stopping them from getting access to
what the fuck?
What?
13?
What happened?
you mean
Who
that?
said that?
You
Dominic.
can show them pornographic material at 13. I think we
Dominic.
It's
found
it's
your
revolting.
Gonna show themselves.
Guys,
You don't mean that.
first
Dominic, you don't
off,
mean that.
it should
Fucking
never
piece of
be
shit.
parents.
I mean, at the
showing
end of the
children
day,
anything.
you hit puberty as 13 and you have a
By the
phone
way,
with
by the way,
internet, so you're
listen,
gonna
listen.
see it. It's not
True,
whether you
and-
like it or not,
by
it's
the way,
whether
and by
it
the way,
happens or not.
By
And
the
it
way,
happens.
just own it. Own the fact that you're a super helicopter mom, and there's nothing wrong with it. But don't fucking lie to us and say this is completely normal and rational behavior that I fucking check every single thing that goes through this 17-year-old phone.
Karantos, you're
Bro.
doing it again. I
I'm
said
going to send him to
specifically.
university and I'm going to beat his
I
back
said
back.
I
Listen to me
said I'm
interact
gonna let
with all
Andrew
the
finish.
people.
It's
Ugh.
okay. You can have cookies. Now
Ugh.
calm down. Listen.
Can
So,
Can I have
I
cookies?
said
Can
the
the 17-year-old
incoming
kid
friend.
have fucking cookies or
I
he needs to
said,
get the
and I
fucking
said,
nutrition?
and
Jesus.
I said the incoming friend requests that my children have, I make sure there is a verified phone number and we know them locally because I'm making sure that my children's little art groups and their awesome little classes that they're taking, they're both super talented. I'm making sure that they can share what they've done with one another and that we know them. They're people that have come over to my house. They're people who have done sleepovers, all that fun stuff. That's it. I let them do it, but I did have a conversation with my daughter. Let's not have you in the photo for now. When you're older, we'll worry about that. But for now, let's keep the camera guided towards your art. That's the only, and it was a suggestion to her, and that's what we've been doing recently. But yes, I do
It was a suggestion that
wait,
I
I do
actually checked.
100% curate. Stop. I do 100% curate incoming friend requests because I need to make sure that these are verified human beings that my children know in real life. Because if one of them do something shitty, we have in real life complication consequences, and I can go to the parents of the in real life child because we already have that social control going. And this is just an added little thing that they're learning with.
Oh, this is
I
a great
curate.
idea. I have something to tell you guys. Okay, somebody said that this would be a great time for me to tell a story about seeing my dad's tail for the first time. So when I was like,
Oh no.
That's
so when I was
It's not a
like
great idea.
when I was like 3 or 4, I remember every time my dad would go to the bathroom, he would close the door behind him, and I always wondered what would happen when he closed the door, right? So one day I got an idea in my head. I thought I'm gonna figure out what's going on behind that door, right? And so he goes into the bathroom, and then I know I know he's there. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna figure this out now. Bust open the door, and he's there, and I see him holding his thing, and I'm like, oh my god, you have a tail, and he's like, yep, and I was like, you have a tail. Wow. So anyways, I was so excited that he had a tail because I was obsessed with monkeys. I really like monkeys. And monkeys have tails, right? So I ran to my mom. I said, "Mom, dad has a tail." And she was like, "Yup." And I was like, "When do I get mine?" And she was like
Oh no.
she
Oh
was like,
no.
yeah, she's like, girls don't get them." And I was like, "What?"
So unfair.
And I was so mad. I was so mad for like 3 months after that. I can't tell you guys. I was so mad that I didn't get a tail. So that's my story.
Well, that's like envy, right? That's what Freud talked about or something.
What
Yeah.
the fuck? I thought you were talking about a chatter. That shit happened to you?
Yeah, that happened to me. Yeah.
Fuck is this?
I wish I had a prehensile tail.
I want a tail. That would be nice. Anyway,
Oh my god.
Mike,
I have
Well,
to be able
anyways,
to
the
grip
moral of
shit
the
with
story-
it
it was
though.
it was
of the
awkward,
story-
right?
The moral of the story is that, well, it wasn't awkward for me because I wanted to know what the fuck was happening, and well, I
For
figured
your
it out.
parents.
It was, I mean, I'm sure it was awkward for them, but whatever. Big deal.
They were chill.
Moral of the story is that your kids are probably going to figure it out somehow, some way. Maybe
Yeah.
they're 4 and they want to figure out what the fuck you're doing behind that closed door, or otherwise.
Right. There's a responsible way though to like introduce that, like in an educational environment. I think that's
Sometimes you
perfectly
can't
fine.
control that, though. Sometimes you can't
Well,
control
sure, right. But so when I first asked where babies came from, like we watched a whole full Swedish documentary on like the full process and like the fertilization, what happens, da 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 da. And I learned I learned everything, right? But that's very different than like hardcore ass blasting 5,000 or whatever the fuck that's out
Or
there,
if
right?
your homie
Like,
tells you right
Yeah, I
now,
don't think gas blasting has anything to do with making kids.
Sure, maybe that was a bad example, but what I'm saying is that like it's not like these porn websites are like educational websites teaching people like like answering their questions they genuinely have about reproduction and sex and that stuff. No, it's like it's very non-scientific and it's very like not good for kids. So I think it's perfectly fine to have like those sites be restricted, and then maybe you could have like another site that's not restricted, but like has a much more like educational and age appropriate way of explaining things.
okay, Lactoid, what about the platforms that require 13 plus? Should we not have verification for those as well?
Yeah, yes, there should be verification. We should not have kids on the internet, gambling sites, porn sites, all that shit.
Even
No
Twitch,
kids.
Twitch, YouTube.
Yes, even for Twitch and YouTube. I think YouTube has like a YouTube for kids, whatever. I think that's perfectly fine. You have that, and then like you have once you're over a certain age and you can prove it, then you can go to full YouTube, and then you can have tiers of this shit. I think that's fine.
I can weigh in on this because my daughter's phone, like there was because of her age and the service we had, and because of her age on Google, it was all the Google account that's running her phone. We tried to turn her YouTube on at the age of 13, like the actual TOS, like the TOS says. We have not been able to fix whatever the hell is wrong. Everybody has been enormously apologetic. We've had to get a new UI system on the phone. And then she dropped it like 2 days ago and it's broken. But I've been working to get her YouTube, and she's 14 now, and we've been working this whole time. So sometimes that goes wrong, and I'm still going to bite the bullet and say that I want there to be verification of their age. I want it. I think that it's safe. If we're going to have these rules, we should be enforcing these rules. And so, even though YouTube fucked up, and I am very frustrated, sometimes they're like, well, have you tried this or have you tried that? And I was like, yeah, we were on the phone. It's in your logs. You're like looking at our logs right now. So I do get frustrated with them. My daughter still can use YouTube on her tablet. She can use YouTube on her like on other devices and on her laptop, but she can't access it on her phone still. And that's been incredibly frustrating. It's just something's gone wrong. I'm asking my techie friends if they can help me. So it's just something we have to live with and deal with. And we're okay with that. That's fine, because this one mistake does not mitigate the fact that there are 12-year-olds being kept off of sites for 13 and older.
The shit that I saw at 12 years old, like, has scarred me. Like, there's a reason I am there's a reason I am there's a reason I am the way I am. Okay, like if you like this, like the shit that's out there, like fucks you up, and it's not good.
You remember Tub Girl? I remember seeing Tub Girl when I was like 11.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm
I'm not gonna lie. Chinese CCTV footage has always made me extremely fearful of escalators. Now.
Oh yeah, fuck Lively.
Goatsy was another one.
Women's head get open. That shit fucked me up.
It was Goatsy, right? Goatsy is what it was called. It was another one that
yeah.
my friends sent to me when I was like 11, and I think it was too traumatic. I think I like blocked that out of my brain, but.
No, it's fucked, right? Like, and think about it. Like, I know it was not good for me at 11 years old, and I think it's crazy that people.
Why?
Just,
What happened to you? Like, are you a drug addict? Are you a pornographic addict or something?
So look, I guess I dodged like the terrible things that could have happened, but I know, like, I remember like those experiences, and I just know that they were horrific, and you know, the kind of shit, like, what would you have been if you didn't see that shit? I don't know. Maybe I'd be fucking a multi-billionaire. It's not good.
I don't think it's going to stop all of it either, because the first time I ever saw a porn magazine, it was a guy at a house, and it was kind of like he was considered safe to like be around us, and he like took me into like this office building. He had me sit there, and he like had me look at the whole Playboy magazine.
Jesus Christ!
And then he didn't touch
How
me or
old were
anything.
you?
Like he didn't do anything to me. But he was like, "Stay right here," and then he went into another room and made some weird noises, and I heard him washing his hands. And then he came out.
That should be that should be criminal. That should be criminal.
It is criminal. It is criminal. I'm saying, like,
How old were you?
bad things can happen from this. It's not just the internet. We're not going to stop all bad things. I just think that we can actually have a funnel where it's happening less. Like the funnel that could have helped happen less. So they didn't go over that weirdo's house.
Yes, in the same way that like having ID requirements at bars, it doesn't stop all underagers from getting in, but it helps. It helps stop a whole bunch of them, right? And the response is not just to be like, well, 3 kids are going to sneak in, so let's just let all the kids in. It's like, no, it's a fucking bar.
Really? How many kids?
I see where you're coming from, but that's fucking insane. Like, I don't think anybody would ever fucking go with that solution. Yeah, let's just make.
Oh yeah, no one would agree with that. That's crazy.
Get verified so they could go online. At this point, let's all just turn into fucking China. Okay, let's all have a social credit fucking point system. Okay,
and they don't have to have a fucking account.
Eyes, my thumbs. Okay, this.
And they don't have to have an account. What's wrong with them not having an account? Oh well.
They'll be happier statistically.
Oh, so now if you could fucking ensure people are happier, you could fucking become the overlord that controls it.
For children, yeah. I'm okay with stopping children from doing shit.
You can't prove you're not 13. Oh, fucking well. It's your problem.
I've been 45 since 2008. Okay,
Me too.
It's well established. You're willing to lie. Thank you.
As soon as I hit puberty.
If anybody on this fucking panel says they're not a liar, I will show you a fucking liar. Get the fuck out of here, okay? Anybody could fucking lie in this system today, sure. Will your fucking proposed solution kind of fucking lessen it by?
You're just another boss. It's fine.
Like it would, Lactoid. It absolutely would do. But giving them dickheads control over who the gets on or off. I don't care. I want to have the freedom to fucking say that I'm 45. I want to have that freedom.
Why?
Yeah.
Fuck you,
To
dude.
see pornography,
Well,
baby. Let's
I know.
go.
Dude, I got on YouTube when I was like fucking 10. I saw a lot of cool fucking shit that I enjoyed. Why the fuck would I have to wait 3 years to fucking be entertained? That's fucked up. I got on Facebook at like 2008 or something. Like that
Yeah.
I enjoyed that a lot. I enjoyed fucking playing the games on Facebook. Why the fuck would I have to wait, I don't know, 5 more years or something? That's crazy. I don't want to do that. That's fucked up.
So verify you're 13, or I guess you miss out on all of those. That
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah. If we implement your fucking evil ass system, then I wouldn't be able to do that.
evil.
And then you may have turned out different. Oh no.
I might have.
Maybe
honestly,
you wouldn't
I
be
might
wearing
have.
a fucking ski mask on camera in front of a bunch
I
of
am
people.
the smartest person here because at the end of the day, the ski mask protects me from the fucking government that's going to be established if people like Lactoid
Can
want
I,
to give their fucking information to the DMV. We're gonna turn it to CCTV.
can I,
The world is gonna turn it to
let me ask
fucking
something.
China, okay? Fuck this.
Let me ask something
Nobody
about your
knows my
principles,
face.
though. Hold on. Let me ask you something about your principles. How come I've heard you like talk about degenerates, but then you're over here saying, yeah, we should all get to like look at pornography before we're 13 years
Yeah,
old?
when
Like,
did I say that? When did I say that? When did I say that? Did I not specifically mention YouTube and Facebook? Did I not do that? When did I
no, no, no.
mention
I'm asking
porno?
you. I'm asking
Fucking
you.
boomer.
Like, so you managed to actually find those things, and you're fine with finding those things, and you want to
I
continue
did
to find
find
those
no,
things.
oh, hold on now. I did not find them on Facebook or YouTube. I found them. Guess
And where
where?
did you find them?
At
On
school.
Pornhub.
My fucking friends. Even if I had a helicopter mom like you, I still would have found it with my fucking friends. Because they're the ones that fucking spoke
Yeah,
about
I
this shit.
know. Like, I know because my son has actually seen something that one of his friends sent for mean purposes too. Like he was just being a jerk. The kid was being
Oh,
a jerk.
They
It
no.
can
happens.
show it at school, okay? They have Wi-Fi there.
He
Okay, it's not that I
filters
did
the
work with you and you were fucking
17-year-old's
raised.
pornography.
Yeah.
Like it happens. It happens. You
No,
can't
he
fucking
sent my kid
protect.
something like
You
one of
can't.
his
I'm
friends
not talking
was
about
in
that shit.
the
I'm
hospital.
not talking
So
about that shit. I'm talking about like just like normal fucking pornography. Like you could try your best to shelter your children by fucking being all fucking hovering over their lives and whatever. Cool. But when they're outside, you can't control shit. That's what I'm trying to say. You guys could try your best to fucking make sure that nobody fucking gets online before they're 13 or on porn sites before they're 18. But I promise you, it will just be made available to them anyways by others. It's going to happen. It is what
Guys,
it is.
I think we've kind of reached a natural stopping point here. Usually I stop around 9, but things were still kind of going. But thank you guys for joining. I hope you had fun with
Yeah,
this.
I did. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it
on.
was great.
Yeah, it was very
Yeah.
fun.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
it
Okay.
again.
it's
It was
time for
great.
goose naps.
Yeah.
So.
Let's
See you guys
go.
later.
I was honored to be in the presence of Bo Blacks. No, Bo Blacks, the big Andy. I thought he had.
He left.
I went on his Twitch.
He
I
didn't
tried to
care about you.
I thought he had like 500,000 followers on Twitch. I was like,
He's a
where the fuck is
YouTuber.
this? I found it on YouTube. It's like fucking diet fucking Keemstar. I was like, what the fuck? What was he flexing on us for? It's budget scarce. The brother has 300K. God bless him.
No,
That is
look.
great.
Dude,
But
he
that
made
guy
it his
is
full-time
unfair.
job.
Wait a
That's
minute,
like
wait a minute.
that's like the
Roblox-
goal for everyone in
Yeah,
this
Bo
year.
Black's
Fuck me.
actually Bo
It
Black
is, but
said
I thought he was
did it.
like a fucking million viewer Andy. I was like, whoa. I'm in the presence
Yeah,
of
yeah. So,
royalty.
so here's the thing with Bo Blacks. Bo Blacks did all that by reading tweets on YouTube.
Oh
All he
yeah,
does
that's
is read
impressive.
tweets. Like,
That's
bro,
why I said
what the
budget
fuck?
scarce. I was so fucking shocked. I was like, bro, like I'm in the presence of like some fucking amazing Andy. And I checked the YouTube. I'm like, okay, 10K viewers, 20K viewers. Why the fuck was he talking this much shit? Kinda
Oh,
made
and
me
since
feel weird.
Moblax has like the perfect voice for it, I turned him on to the AI generated voice thing, and he said that it's gonna make his job a lot easier.
Bro, you can automate this shit. You could automate
Oh
this shit
wow.
completely from top to bottom. But God bless him though. It was
Yeah.
fun being on. It was
Oh,
fun.
Dame Pesos is also a legend. So thank you for joining
Yes.
us, Dame.
I'm the
Bonito,
greatest.
man.
I'm the
From hit
best.
shows
I
like the
won all
Soyless
the
Matt Show.
debate. 100%.
Yeah.
Subscribe to me or else. Remember, I'm a brown guy. I'm a brown guy. If you don't
Well,
subscribe to me,
what do you mean
you are
you're a brown guy? What's
racist.
this accent? What's this accent? Where are you from?
I'm from Chile.
Listen, anybody who's not from the
He doesn't know what that is. He's like,
Anybody-
what? What the fuck is that shit?
Anybody who's
He
not
thinks
from
it's
the
an ingredient
motherland,
for food. It's okay.
Wait, which part of Mexico is that?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably
What
California.
the
Probably California.
fuck? Lactoid.
Okay.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Listen to me. Listen to me. If you're not from Africa, you are white. Okay. Stardust white.
Wow.
Stabby white. Lactose white. You're all white.
Oh,
If
I'm
you're not
white
from the
now.
motherland,
Ay, ay,
you're
ay,
white.
soy blanco.
They call you the savior of white men for a reason. So,
Fuck.
You have white privilege now. You're welcome.
Let's
Okay?
go, Dame. He's got that white
Thank
privilege
you.
now.
I'm a white taco.
hell yeah.
No
dude.
more racism. I did it. Finally became the
You
white.
did.
Now I'm gonna have money and shit. It's gonna be great.
What is a white taco though? Is it made with like mayo or something?
Just a lot of sour cream.
You know a lot about
Is that a
mayo,
banana?
right? Stabby, you know a lot about mayo, right? You love
I
mayo.
don't use mayo.
No, I think
I've always
bananas
been
are
white on the inside.
Asians that are white on the inside.
Mayo is considered really like disgusting and makes food like fattening for no reason. I learned how to
need
cook
to
from
act
my
like that around me, okay? I'm black, but I understand your,
I don't like mayo.
love
It's
for
gross.
things.
My
Why
grandma's
does
white.
mayo exist when ranch exists? I'll never understand this.
I don't
One
like
second,
ranch
that's why.
either. Ugh.
I don't know. Mayo makes
Everything has to have a
srirachas pretty good.
I
Our
love
stuff
ranch.
has to have a gochujang base. It has to like have like this sweet pepper gochujang paste for a base at the sauce, and mayo would just like I think it would separate. That sounds gross.
Mm.
Yeah. Ugh.
Oh.
Plus, it's like people bite into the sandwich and they leave white stuff on their mouths, and you're like, sorry. Yeah, I don't like it. Anyway, thank you for having us, Stardust. I'm going to go ahead and dip out. I'm supposed to be on a game panel playing Among Us with some
I'm
girls.
supposed to be, yeah, I'm
So
supposed to be on that too. They were like,
yeah, we're both
Oh,
supposed to be over there.
we're
Yeah.
keeping Stardust. All right. Well,
Is that
good
why
night,
she's a
everybody.
banana now?
We
Well,
already
goodbye,
agreed.
everyone.
Bye, guys.
Yep.
Bye.
Catch you guys later. Thank you.
it
Bye.
was fun.
Bye, Mrs.
I
Banana.
love you guys. Wait,
Bye,
I
Taco.
don't mean it. I don't mean it. I was joking. I don't. But yeah.
Yeah, you can find me on Lactoid TV. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, twitch.tv/Krantos, QORANTOS for you illiterate, retarded motherfuckers. Okay, we are live every single day. If you miss it, your mother doesn't love you. Stardust, I appreciate you for having me on. Take
Thank you
care.
for coming.
Bye-bye.
Oh, and I guess youtube.com/flamenco TV. I'm gonna be making a pilgrimage to this billboard in a couple of days. So I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah, subscribe to Dame Pesos. I'm brown. Don't be racist.
Don't be
put this
racist,
frown
chat.
down. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you guys.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in and checking out. I know we usually stream on Twitch, but this was on YouTube. I didn't know who the surprise guest was, and I know that sometimes they're banned from Twitch. So, but we will tomorrow and Monday we'll be streaming, obviously, and this will be on Twitch. So, nope. Thank you guys for tuning in. Give me a follow or subscribe here. Follow on Twitch if you guys want to, and follow on Twitter, all at Lactoid TV.